Mesdames, mesdemoiselles, messieurs, attention à ça. Pour cela, quand il est parti, pour la première fois, quand il est en chirage tambour, tout est pourtant, dans pour comprendre, il est parti.
2025, the 5th year of the festival, and it's been quite an epic competition today so far. You can see the course there set out. It's been a very interesting semi-final, and the best 6 riders have gone through to the finals. And I'm actually joined here today. Myself is Andre Burton, in case you don't know my voice already. And I'm joined by Ian Farrar here. Ian, welcome.
Thank you, Andre. I'm really glad to be here. And very epic competition thus far today.
Yeah, how was it for you?
Honestly, a little rough. Very, very difficult sections today, for sure. Whenever you European guys come over, it definitely makes it really tough and forces the North American guys to up the ante a little bit. But we're very happy to have you guys here, and certainly pushes all of us a little further to, yeah, challenge ourselves on bicycles, and it's been a ton of fun.
Fantastic. Well done. You did really well. We'll come back to that later on. In the meantime, let's have a little look around the beautiful city that is Bentonville. So Bentonville is in northwest Arkansas, and it's a mountain bike capital of the world, and literally they have built so many trails, so many places to ride. It's so bike friendly. You can see there one of Kenny Belay's demonstrations in the town centre there, and here's just a couple of shots showing you how beautiful the area is. Some really beautiful buildings, great place to visit, and every year the Bentonville Bike Festival has just improved, become bigger and better. It's just fantastic, and it's such a good energy for cycling in general.
Yeah, for sure. This is such a cool and fun place to come back to every single year. It's really just become tradition for us here in the U.S. as trials riders. I mean, as you can see on the screen now, this is, I believe, the first ever permanent trials park in the U.S. So we're really, really lucky to have this here at this event. I mean, Kenny Belay, his brother Wesley, Mike Friedel, the whole team have really, really put a ton of work into this course, and it's really, really awesome to have it here this weekend.
Yeah, it's super cool, isn't it? And it's cool that this gets to stay here and everyone can ride on it whenever they want. You can have other competitions here as well, so that's absolutely fantastic. So in a minute, we're just going to have a little recap of the competition, I believe, from the semi-finals earlier on. And we're going to be presenting the riders shortly for the finals up on the main stage. We do have 2 international female riders as well. That we've changed the format slightly of the finals, so we've got the best 2 female riders again to be overall presented by Mobile One. So huge thanks to all the sponsors. The trial section sponsored by Haleon. You can see all the different cycling disciplines on offer here at the festival.
I mean, we got just about everything here at Bentonville Bike Fest, even an airbag. Vendors, tons of fun stuff to check out, and I mean, it's really, really awesome for the whole family, whether you're young or old. Checking out the whole venue, you can see Kenny Belay there showing off a little bit, the front man of the whole festival.
Yeah, absolutely. So there really is every kind of every kind of bike riding here in general. The state also has 400 miles of trails that you can go bike ride on. So it's absolutely incredible. And these dirt jumps you can see on the screen at the moment actually built just for the festival as well. So they've got some of the best dirt riders in the entire planet here competing, having fun, showing the crowds what is possible. Okay, so we're going to have a look at some images from qualifying. So we've got Debbie and Vera there. Vera, I think, Vera Baron just pipping Debbie top spot. So Debbie will ride first, but actually Vera was the winner from the semi-finals. We can see your brother there,
yeah.
Sean Farrar.
We got Jeff Anderson on screen as well, coming out on top for the North American guys.
Yeah.
Palau making it up that very slippery pipe, as I found out as well. But
me too. There's Oliver Waitman from the UK, one of the best top 3 in the world at the last World Championships. Aloy Palau there as well from Spain. He's well into the finals. And 7 times world champion Jack Carthy there. Some good highlights. Who's that guy?
Oh, that's me.
Oh, it is. There's Ian. Just dropping through the screens.
There's a good reason
there.
I'm in the booth with you now, yeah. Andre. But
no, you did well. You did well. These are very, very tough sections.
It was a good time. It was definitely difficult, but the challenge is fun. So
exactly. The challenge is absolutely fantastic. That's what it's all about. Trying to compete against, like you say, there's a lot more competitions at the moment in Europe than there is over in America, but there's definitely a huge opportunity for this sport to improve and push further in America.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're saying, Andre, this is really the one big one that we have here in the U.S. Covering this massive country. But so you'll see a ton of us from all around making it out, making the pilgrimage to come out and enjoy the sport that we love. So we got the ladies lining up here. We've got Debbie Studer and Vera Baron.
Yep, so these are the top 2 females from the qualifying. Vera is former world champion, Spanish champion, and European champion. So she's literally won everything. Currently wearing that top because she is the leader in the World Cup 2024. Just starting the season for 2025. And then we go on to the elite men's competition. 6th place just on the 26-inch bike was Oliver Waitman from the UK. 5th place qualifying is Eloy Palau from Spain. Then we've got Danny Baron, Vera's older brother, who is one of the very best riders in the entire world. He was 2nd in the World Championships, same points as Jack just 2 years ago, and currently ranked, I think, 4th place overall in the world. Could even be 3rd. And then we've got Borja Conejos, also from Spain, on the 20-inch bike there. And you'll notice that there's 20 and 26-inch bikes, both in the same category for the men's elite. In the UCI C1 events, they are mixed. And then for international points, they're divided into 20 and 26-inch. Then we've got the man that needs no introduction, Alejandro Montalvo, 2 times elite world champion. And 7 times world champion, Mr. Jack Carthy, riding up onto the stage. There isn't a competition this guy hasn't won, so it'll be quite interesting to see. I think it's going to be a huge battle. There was just 10 points between 1st and 2nd, and another 10 points between 2nd and 3rd as well. So we're pretty excited. These guys are going to jump off the stage, head on over to the trials sections.
It's going to be a great final. I mean, being able to compete alongside these guys and girls, both, well, all of them, frankly, very, very smooth, very fast, very efficient.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So here we go, presented by Haleon, the UCI C1 Elite Trials competition, biggest trials competition in the whole of America. So it's super cool that we're showcasing this sport here. So big shout out to Kenny Belay for putting this event together. This is the 5th that we've run this now. Last year, we had a slight issue with a bit of bad weather. Unfortunately today, we did have some pretty bad weather this morning. Amazingly, sunshine, beautiful afternoon, and the sections have dried out really, really fast. Everybody was a little bit nervous last night and this morning with the heavy rain. So it's pretty cool. I'm quite excited to see how these guys get on the finals. So the sections have changed from the semi-finals. They've stepped everything up quite a level. I'm excited to see what lines we have got in for these guys for the finals. They'll be starting in reverse order as well. So Debbie's going to be first up for the women, followed by Vera, and then we'll go on to the elite men. And we'll be going from 6th place with Oliver Waitman all the way through to Jack Carthy, who qualified on 600 points in the semi-finals. He'll be going out last, so it's really the pressure's on him. He gets to see what everybody else does, but it also means that if they have good rides, he's under a lot of pressure to try and get as many points as he can and keep up with the rest of the field.
Yeah, we're lucky that the weather's holding out for the rest of the evening, because these are some really, really proper sections, and having to do these in the wet would not have been a ton of fun.
No,
we were sweating it a little bit this morning, seeing all the rain coming in, but I think the sun has come out, the clouds have parted ways, and yeah, I think we're going to have a nice dry competition here this evening for these guys and girls to really, really show us what they are capable of. And yeah, it's going to be a really, really good show. I'm excited for it.
So tell me, what's the competition here like compared to the other competitions you've ridden in America?
Hard, very difficult.
Very difficult.
Yeah, like I was saying before, I mean, having some of the world-class talent come over here overseas certainly steps things up a little bit. Competitions are similar, same scoring system nowadays, but yeah, it's a whole nother level, whole different challenge here every year. at Bentonville, and rightfully so, because like you were saying, we've got many a world champion here, both on the men's and the women's side.
Absolutely.
So you got to up the ante a little bit. And I mean, from a perspective of an American rider, of a North American rider, it's a great experience to have, to see just how high the level is every single year, and it's great motivation.
It's wild, isn't it? It's absolutely wild. Like
it's
how,
crazy.
Especially the last few years, like the level's just absolutely flown up.
For sure.
You know, since the era of Jack Carthy, like he really kind of pioneered the sport about 7 years, 8 years ago. And then everybody's kind of like stepped up and leveled up now, and everybody's kind of seen what's possible, and it's all gone up to such an incredible level. And the women as well. We're about to see Debbie and Vera come out here and ride, and you'll see just like the level that these girls can ride. It's incredible. So just to let you know, you watch them on the screens there. If you don't know much about trials and how the competitions work, they're not allowed to ride the sections first. They're only allowed to walk through the sections. So they'll walk through the sections, visualize and work out where they need to go, how best their riding style and techniques, abilities are going to get their bike through that section. So they can walk through, visualize it all, and then they get to ride it. They'll get one chance on each section to get as many points as they can. When I say points, there's up to 60 points on offer for each section. You have 2 minutes to complete each section. If you touch any part of the bike other than the tires or put a foot down, then you will get penalty points, and you will lose the points for that gate up to a maximum number of 5 penalty points. So if you repeatedly put your foot down 5 times in a row, you would basically not be able to continue the section. You'd have to get off. Likewise, if you put a hand down or both feet down, then that is full points straight away. You're off the bike. It's deemed as a complete fail, essentially. You'll keep the points you've earned in the section up to that point, but you have to stop riding and get out. Likewise, if you run out of the 2-minute time limit, that's it. Your game is over. You're on to the next section.
Yeah, absolutely. It is all about precision, and like we were saying before, for Debbie, this is the first time that she is going to get to ride this section, period. Like we were saying, any of you guys that are familiar with World Cup downhill, World Cup cross country, anything else, you get to pre-ride the course. You get to lock in your lines.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah,
but trials is a whole different game. You only get to walk the sections beforehand. So really, it's all a mental game about knowing where exactly you're going to place the whole time. And so for these riders, this is going to be the first time that they see these feeling it out, trusting their instincts, knowing when and where to place their tires. It's really difficult. As you can see, Debbie having to back it up just a little bit for her second attempt at this gate. Let's see if she can get it.
Oh yeah, nicely hooking the front wheel over there. So to give you an idea of the different techniques and terminology we're going to use, just in case you don't know, hooking is basically putting the front wheel over an obstacle and pulling backwards on the tire to wedge yourself over through a gate. So we'll see lots of that through this competition.
Just like reeling in a fish with the front wheel.
Exactly.
That's why we call it a hook, ladies and gentlemen.
And then, so here you can see she's on 30 points so far. So she's doing really well on this first section. Tricky first gate. She's got to try and get both axles and the whole center line, those markers. So you can see the gate there. There's a left and right marker on each of these gates, and they've got to get the whole center line of the bike between those, and that's what the 2 observers are looking for. They're going to be very strict, making sure that they move perfectly between those gates.
Debbie doing a really good job of keeping track of time.
Yeah,
she's getting really deep into the section, going for 50 points. Saving
just a foot down there, putting the bike through. So when your foot is down, you are allowed to move the bike into a steady position.
Oh, and just slips on the last gate.
But 40 points, I think she's going to walk off with 40 points out of this section.
I believe so.
We're 2 minutes. Debbie, we're 2 minutes.
And it looks like she is out of time. That's the other thing, is that it is really difficult to get through all 6 of these gates within one section, within 2 minutes. That's the hardest part, is doing everything clean and doing everything quickly. Oftentimes, that's what sets these riders apart, is being able to get through all the gates very quickly. Again, you've only got 2 minutes to get through all of these gates. 6 gates per section, maximum of 60 points that can be scored. So let's see, we got Vera Barón from Spain, multiple world champion in that European champion jersey.
That's a good point. She's wearing the European champion jersey, not the World Cup jersey. I was thinking it was the World Cup jersey. The World Cup jersey is red. So, yeah, here we go. Vera making light work of the first gate. 10 points already, and you can see, 20 points already. 25 seconds used up of her time limit. Just getting set up in the corner there, looking to get that front wheel. There it is, that hook move, just pulling the front tyre back into the top of the rock. Now, these bikes are very, very specific. You can ride trials on any bike, but if you're going to ride this kind of level, it definitely helps to be on a specific trials bike. So you can see Vera there, she went for a slightly different approach to how we saw Debbie do it. A little bit quicker, possibly a bit more risky compared to the way that Debbie did it. But nonetheless, 40 points already, so she's already level with Debbie's score. So she's 1 minute through. She's got over 50 seconds left to get the last two gates. Are we going to see a 60-point start for Vera Baron? Up to the back wheel, straight to front wheel and over. The local crowd there going wild for it. And here we go, lining up on the back wheel, hooking the front tyre over again. Switching through, she's looking good for 60 points. Just got to clear out to the end of the section. Oh, and there it is. Great ride from Vera. 60 points. The full score for the first section. So we're just going to see a couple of replays there. And while we're seeing these replays, I want to introduce you to somebody else we actually have here. There's three of us here now in the commentary box. So this is a local legend and a trials trainer herself. This is Jess, trials trainer. Welcome, Jess.
Welcome. Thank you. I'm excited to be here today.
Thank you for joining us. And you coach a couple of these guys.
I do. I do training. So that's what I specialize in. I am a doctor in biomechanics and human performance. So I don't actually teach people how to ride trials bikes. They're already amazing. I just teach them how to be stronger, more explosive, more powerful.
Yep,
so,
fantastic. Well, you know.
It's a lot of fun.
Jess does a fantastic job on Instagram, putting together a ton of physical therapy and physical performance videos for all of us trials riders. So where can they find you?
So at Trials Trainer Jess on Instagram, I try to upload content. It's all science-based, it's all performance-based, and it's all trying to make you a better rider. So I do biomechanical analysis on there. Ollie Waitman, who we're seeing, do all kinds of different moves. I will analyze it in terms of, look at hip mobility, look at hamstring mobility, different things like that.
Oh, and we see Ollie there just missing the back wheel. I think that was there. That is a bit upsetting. So I think by the looks of it, he's going to finish on 10 points in section 1. That is a shame for him. And that means that the gate is open for the next 5 riders in the final. And you're just saying, oh, here we go. We can see the replay. Just didn't quite get the front wheel up high enough into that corner. That is a very, very awkward move. He'll be frustrated with that. Ollie is an incredibly powerful rider, which, Jess, you know how strong these guys are as athletes.
Yes, extremely strong.
I feel like we should say us guys, including Ian and myself, maybe more Ian than me.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so a lot of times the smallest ankle and foot movement can actually make and or break a big key move in a lot of these competitions and a lot of these techniques that we're seeing. And so if you don't quite preload right, or you don't have a lot of ankle power being exerted down into the pedals, that can result in either executing a move or not getting the points.
Exactly, yeah. And you can see, like Aloy especially, actually, he moves his body really well. You'll see when he jumps to the front wheel, he really leans so far over the front. Huge mobility, ankle mobility, hip mobility,
but
wrists, everything.
Watch his feet. Watch his feet. Aloy, Ollie, all of these top riders do the exact same thing. Their feet and their ankles are constantly moving so that all of that power can be transmitted through, that allow them, again, to do these
and he sailed through that as well,
moves.
Yeah. So that's a move we can in the front.
The Spaniard, Bam Bam, I learned that.
Yeah, Bam Bam.
Bam Bam, yeah.
Some strange people call them that.
Yeah, no. So Alejandro was telling me that's what they call it. So.
Oh yeah, in Spain, yeah.
In Spain.
The strange people I'm talking about. Just kidding, guys. All right, so Aloy, so far the best elite rider we've seen going through. He's up to 40 points already in this section, and he's got a minute left to get the last 20 points. Can he get this move up on the back wheel? Just looking for right on the edge of that pipe. You'll see him just line up there, and then looking for that top edge.
Oh, going
and
with the
that
Frenchie
move
again.
as well.
Wow, I thought he was going to try to go all the way the front wheel, backside to hook it. But
Yeah,
man,
exactly
that was
what I
a
thought he was
really nice Frenchie. Very nicely done.
Yeah, and you'll notice he's on the 20-inch trials bike, whereas Oliver was on the 26-inch bike, and that's 60 points for Aloy. He's going to be stoked with that, and that
Very
puts the
nicely
next
done.
riders onto a bit of pressure as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's the standard now. Here we go. We see a little replay there, just straight front to back. That's absolutely spot on riding there from Aloy. Now, although some of the tops of these rocks may look quite big, most of the time these riders are literally looking for just that little square inch, exactly where they're going to land perfectly. And we've got Danny Baron here. Oh, just slightly getting that takeoff wrong on the way through to the first gate. So he did touch his cranks on the way up there, which means he won't get the points for that first move. But you can see here, using that hook technique, so putting the front wheel over, like you were saying, Jess, just the biomechanics of the movements of being able to ride trials like this, the ankle mobility, the shoulder mobility as well, and being able to get right up over the front.
The other thing that you'll notice a lot with these riders is they do these track stands or these free balancing moves, is the amount of core stability and strength that it takes to be able to just stand there without moving, or just, you know, hold it right there. The amount of core balance and strength that takes for Danny Baron to have that is just outstanding and out of this world. So if you are a trials rider, start working on your core, like right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, core strength and core stability is such a prime thing to learn and work on as a trials rider. So it's interesting. They've given Danny 30 points so far. I thought he missed that first gate because he did go to bash guard, but
yeah, I
we'll
thought
see.
so too.
Yeah,
it looks like Mike's got 2 fingers up, so he's keeping honest. But oh, didn't quite make it through.
That is a shame, isn't it, for Danny?
Yeah.
It's going to leave the door open for well, Aloy's going to be far out in the lead now.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame. I think they're just asking, he's just working out whether he got the points for that gate. So technically, if both axles are through the markers, then he will get the points for the gate. If he's not quite through it first, then and then he falls off, then they haven't made it. So they're having a little. We're just going to have a little
look back.
Yeah,
at
look
another
at that.
nice Frenchie, or excuse me, Daniel Spanish. It's a Bam Bam.
I prefer Frenchie. Let's go Frenchie.
I like Frenchie, but Bam Bam
I
also
like Bam
works.
Bam.
Okay.
So
You like Bam Bam?
I'm in the Spaniard camp over here. Bam Bam.
We've got a divided commentators panel
We
here.
do, we do.
Oh no. All right, now we've got Borja Cunejos, also from Spain.
Yeah, so Borja Conejos was former world champion as well. He's, I think he just recently won a couple of big competitions in Spain as well. Obviously, won events.
2 minutes.
So he's definitely got the ability to win. Yeah, now it's interesting. They've actually, from the semi-finals, we had this first move, but they've actually just moved the marker on the right-hand side of that. So you have to come straight out from the middle, which looks really, really difficult.
That's a lot harder than it was in the semi-final. And
Way
quick little
harder.
shout out to Borja. It's his birthday.
It is,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Feliz
Borja.
cumpleaños, Borja. Let's see if you can pull it off for the day. But
That
once
actually
again,
wasn't bad pronunciation. Well done, Ian.
Thank you.
So, ¿cuánto tiempo?
No hablo español.
¿Por qué no?
hablo.
¿Por qué no?
No sé.
I've never learned.
No
That's
sé.
why.
Necesitas aprender.
Siento. All right, there's
figure out
enough
how
bad
old he
Spanish
is. Yeah,
for
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So
We'll go back to
Borja just
English.
flying through this section. He's on about 50 seconds gone, and he's on 30 points so far.
This next gate's also quite a bit trickier than in the semi-final. It looks like they're forcing the riders to turn around. You can't quite see it on camera, but that is a very, very narrow rock. And having to turn around on there and having to then have the strength and composure to then do a gap to front up to gate 3B, that is very, very difficult. But let's see if Borja can make his way through gate 4 here.
Yeah, super, super difficult ride in there, and he's done really well. Let's see how.
And
that's.
Don't
let's have a
think
look.
that's good news for Borja.
The observer's having a little conference, and it's going to be 40 points for Borja Conejos. Aloy is taking a commanding lead so far, but we still have the top 2 dogs to go. Alejandro Montalvo should be next, I believe, and then it's going to be Jack Carthy. So can they keep up with Aloy and his 60-point score? Right there, you can see the front wheel just slightly twisting, and he let the handlebars just twist a little bit.
You can see Borja let the center line of the bike cross over and out of the gate there, which unfortunately is an odd 5. You can see we have Gall and Mike Friedel in section marking these guys. Let me tell you, from years of having tied Mike Friedel competition, oh my goodness.
That was so good.
Alejandro just made that look like it was nothing.
That was beautiful. But
that was beautiful.
Yeah, Mike definitely keeps you honest. You got to be on your toes, rather off your toes, making sure you're not putting any pedal or foot onto the obstacle. And Alejandro not quite making it up from that vertical hook there, but
that's quite unexpected. I would have thought we would have got that. So let's see how he gets on with this move here.
Mike has been out here since Monday building these courses.
Yes, that's another good thing to mention is Mike puts in a lot of work into this competition. As we can see, Alejandro putting this course to work that's been set by Mike and the rest of his team, of course, with Wesley Belay and Kenny.
And Andy as well.
Andy, thank you very much.
And Emil. We have 2
Andy,
other Belgians who've come in.
The whole Belgian team.
So I just want to say, if you guys have any questions at home, if you go to my Instagram, which is Andre Burton, A-N-D-R-E-I Burton, B-U-R-T-O-N, just drop me a message. I'm going to try and have a look at them while we are live right now. So if you've got any questions, just fire me over any questions you've got, and I will do my best to answer them, as Alejandro does a beautiful Frenchie through gate number 4.
Bam, bam. Okay, so asking from both of your guys' experience, you're talking about how gates 3 and 4 are relatively difficult. Do you think tire size or wheel size plays into that?
That is an excellent question. From my perspective, I would say
50 points there, by the way, for Alejandro. Yes. He's going to walk out with 50 points, so he's just 10 points behind, but Aloy stays in the lead for the moment.
Yeah. So
they're showing he missed that last gate, though.
Really?
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. They updated it. It was a little slow.
It's a little slow, just like me in the mornings.
When we're talking about wheel size, I mean, a lot of it really is personal preference. So if we look at Alejandro on this gate 3A and 3B, it's really, really technical. It's really narrow, where I would say it's more of an advantage to have the 20-inch wheels, just because they're a lot smaller, they're a lot more nimble, you can be really, really precise. But for gates like this, where Jack is rolling up on those big 26-inch wheels, that is the advantage of the 26-inch bike. It is very good for very powerful rolling moves. Even moves like this, up to hook, making sure he's not touching any other part of the tires, making it up nice and smooth, as you would expect from Jack Carthy.
Yeah, making that look easy.
Now let's see, making the next gate. Frenchie.
We're seeing lots of Bam Bams today.
Yes.
Frenchies, Bam Bams, whatever we want to call them. They are just, everyone's doing them. They get together, you think, in the pre-race meeting and decide that that's what we're doing today?
It's the new school technique. It's the new school technique. So now that the geometry of the bikes has gone a little bit shorter, especially on the 26-inch bikes, it's much easier now to transfer that weight across.
Well, and I mean, on the Bam Bams and or Frenchies, in my opinion, those are maybe a little easier to do on the 26-inch. You've got a little more wheel to work with, a little more area to place your tire on the obstacle, and it makes it a little easier to make that swap. Definitely takes a little more bravery and a little more commitment on the 20-inch from my perspective. But let's see, Jack going all the way straight up to hook, one of the most powerful riders that you're going to see anywhere, quite frankly, let alone Bentonville Bike Fest. But he is looking like he is going to get a nice, comfortable 60 points. Let's see. Nice and smooth, up and over the top of gate 6 and out.
Again, making that look like child's play. Like you said, Jack Carthy is one of the best in the business. When I watched him in Poland last year, it was, again, just
that is
crazy.
Why he's 7 times world champion. Right. I mean, he is literally the man to beat at the moment, and has been for quite some time. So I'm quite excited to see how the rest of the competition will pan out. But it is still 60 points between him and Aloy. So it is neck and neck, and anything can happen. This is trials, so who knows what's going to happen next. As we move on to section 2. There is a lovely crowd here watching. We've had great crowds for the semi-finals earlier on as well. They're absolutely fantastic. These people are really enjoying it, and it's really nice to meet some of the local and not so local people here.
And you know what's been really cool too is a lot of my mountain bike athletes have started to get involved with trials, and as they've met some of the Europeans who have been very welcoming to them, they've actually gone and found themselves trials bikes here.
That's so cool.
Isn't that amazing?
I'm so glad to hear that.
So 2 of my athletes showed up to do the clinic with Alejandro, and
fantastic.
fell in love with it. They actually skipped the dirt show yesterday so that they could watch a warm-up for the trials riders.
All right.
That's so cool.
And we are
got some
getting
converts.
our trials store here in Bentonville. And it's so fun to see this sport finally make its way to America. I'm sure it's even more exciting for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, I'm so much newer to the sport. I've only been exposed to it for the last 4.5 years since working with Bike Fest. But I have fallen in love with it. For me, it's this magical thing since we didn't grow up with it.
Yeah, absolutely,
you know?
yeah. I mean, I've been riding for a good years in Europe. But yeah, it's really nice to be coming over to America more and more. Yeah, I've been riding for 20, how long have I been riding now? 25 years, but I am only 21 years old. But yeah, it's really nice that now actually trials is making its way over into the US. And it's cool. I'm over here a lot more now as well, working with Dialed Action Sports with Jason and Chris, etc.
Yeah,
and
the Dialed Action
we're doing
guys are really, really cool fellow alumni from from a couple summers ago, but yeah, they do a good job.
Yeah, exactly, and it's really cool. It's nice that like the more people watch trials, the more people get involved, spread that information, get involved, and it's great that now there's a trials park here that people can come and try as well. So if you're coming here to ride all of the mountain bike trails, you can come and have a go here and try some of these moves yourself and see what it's like.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing that's really cool that maybe not a lot of people from out of town know is that we have a weekly trials ride with a group here.
Yes.
And so they meet at different areas around town. They ride the trials park here. We have obstacles that are very beautiful throughout Crystal Bridges that they can ride, the Crystal Bridges walking trail. The Walmart home office has phenomenal obstacles to ride that you have ridden.
I have indeed.
That have made us very nervous. So, you know, Bentonville, as they have mentioned, is known as the mountain biking capital of the world, but it's really becoming, I feel like, the cycling capital of the world as we start to cater to
so close there for Debbie.
gravel road. Kenny has brought trials here. It's really a beautiful place in the Midwest of America.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time for sure. And unfortunately, speaking of time, it looks like Debbie just ran out of time hitting that 2-minute limit. But it looks like she's going to walk away with 40 points, almost sticking the leg out to get enough weight over the front, but not quite, unfortunately.
Yeah, so 40 points there for Debbie, and Vera will be going next, so that's 80 in total for Debbie. So as long as Vera gets over 20 points here, she'll keep her lead after section 2, but it does mean that she has to at least get the first 2 gates. Of course, Vera being Vera, I think she's going to be going for a full 60 points. Let's see how she gets on as her 2 minutes start any second now, getting herself composed. So also, I'll just say that each gate is actually made up. It can be made up of, although it's one, it can be 1A, B, C, and D. So it can have different parts of each gate. It can get quite complicated, but for the most part, as you get through each gate, you will gain 10 points.
Yeah, that's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, today in the semifinal, there were a couple of times where I thought to myself, yes, I got through gate 1A, oh, and there's a 1B right around the corner. So that can definitely make things a little tricky in terms of time.
Absolutely, and can I just say that was super impressive there from Vera. Like, that's really good section reading. So all you've got to do is make sure you go through the gates as you like. You don't have to go forwards. So what she did there is gap across onto that beam and then turn around and go backwards down, which is obviously the easiest way for her to do it, the way she felt most confident. Going for this hook move here next on gate number 3. Straight to back, we're doing a great job there.
So it's interesting that you say that. You know, you mentioned earlier where as mountain biking or downhill, we can pick a line, we can ride a line pre-race, and while trials riders can only walk a line. essentially, though, like what Vera did is she had the line mentally how she wanted to run it, and she did it. She did it backwards.
Yeah.
And so, you know, while they don't get to pre-ride this, I think having that walkthrough and that mental map of how they want to run it from one section to the next is also an advantage, and something very similar to pre-riding, if you will.
Yeah.
So just another way of saying, just because one way works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for someone else. And Vera is another powerhouse that always shows us that.
Yeah, so she's got just over 20 seconds left to do gate number 6. Can she make it? Another full score, 60 points. Up to back wheel, looks like she's going to do it straight out for the exit.
There we go, of course. Vera is
60 points.
I love watching Vera ride. She's like the graceful, beautiful, like unicorn that is just super powerful.
She's so smooth, absolutely. Every time I get to watch Vera compete every year, she's so technically talented. She knows exactly where to put her wheel all the time, and something that in her riding I would definitely like to have more. Definitely.
I think riding with her brother Danny is obviously a big advantage with that. They train together all the time.
Absolutely.
And being in Spain, you do have access to the best riders and the best trials parks. I mean, around Barcelona, there's got to be about 15 trials parks.
Yeah, they are spoiled for choice. Yeah.
Whereas you have one in the whole of America. Currently, I've heard there is another one on the way.
Maybe. Yeah.
Colorado.
Legend has it. Yeah. Let's hope. Yeah. It wouldn't be too far down the road from where we live in Colorado, but if I want to make it out for a quick little ride on the weekend at the Bentonville Bike Park, unfortunately it would be a pretty solid 30-ish hour drive from California for me. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you could do that in at least a day and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a long drive.
As long as I obey the speed limit,
But see, as Americans, we're used to that. I'm sure everyone tuning in from overseas is like 30 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'd be in the bottom of, like, the other side of Europe. I would have driven through about 15 countries.
Yeah, you'd be in, like, China at that point.
Yep.
Yeah, for us, you know, we've only made it to the middle of the country.
All right, here we go. Oliver Waitman up next from the Derbyshire Bike Trial Centre. They do have him and his younger brother have the best place you could ever want to ride, really. It's a huge garden setup where they get to practice anything they want, and it's really shown in their riding. Oliver finishing 3rd in the World Championships in 2024 and starting his season off very, very strong.
And a lot of these obstacles should play to Ollie's advantage. So if you look at their trial center, ooh, a little step up from
I think he just
right there.
So that's quite an interesting point, actually. Floor, you've got to look for every little inch and look for every little thing that you might go slightly wrong or catch your tires. And even when you're just turning and maneuvering between the obstacles, that's actually quite often where riders will get points and go slightly wrong because they haven't necessarily looked at it just right on the way through.
Watch out, guys, he's coming.
You're looking at all the big moves and you forget all the little points that are actually pretty important. Now he's moving on, gate number 3, this huge step up. Now I know he made this in the semi-finals. Has he got it? Oh, look at that. That is around 1.70 meters.
110.
So what I was saying about Oliver Waitman is if you look at the center that they've built within their garden, it is mainly concrete barriers and rocks. So a lot of these features are play to Ollie's advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And he's got a lot of beams as well. Now he's lining up a huge kicker. There is this really scary looking kicker all the way up to the top of the container. That is around 12 feet high. Oh,
and look at that. Just like Ollie does, he makes these huge moves look extremely easy. So if you go onto Ollie's page, or if you go onto any of the videos that I have made of Ollie, the way that, look at his mobility, the way that he's able to his hips and butt all the way down to that rear wheel. So if you look at Ollie's...
50 points. He was running out of time there anyway. So 50 points, that's amazing.
Going back to what I was saying, is if you look at Ollie's ankle and foot movement, it is phenomenal. It's some of the best that I've ever seen that allow him to do these huge power moves. Watch him. Look at his feet. Look at his ankle. They dictate. Look at how they constantly... And they dictate these huge power moves for Ollie that make child's play.
Yeah, absolutely, and he does make it. I hate people say easy, but because none of it is easy at all. But he makes it look easy.
He makes it look easy. It's not easy.
It's not easy at all. It's
I
years
say
and
that
years
as
of practice.
someone who can barely keep a trials bike upright.
Unless it's in a bike stand.
This is true, true. Even
So here we
that's
go. We've got Haleon Palau
starting.
So he is joint leader so far into the final. And let's see how he gets on with this section. I've got a feeling he's going to do really well. He's super motivated at the moment and riding really, really strong. He wants to take back that world champion title. Riding with the European champion top on as well. Here we go, getting lined up for this big step we saw Ollie do. How's he going to get on with this one? Big pull to back wheel. As I thought, no problem for Haleon there.
Very smooth.
Yeah, incredibly smooth. And then he's got the reverse of this one. Now, all of the angles are what make these moves so difficult, and the short run-ups as well.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So you can see the angles. He's not just going onto a square obstacle. He's got to be really, really accurate with where he puts his wheels on absolutely everything. And that's what makes trials competitions and natural trials, riding over these natural obstacles, albeit not all of these obstacles are natural, but that's what makes it really, really difficult. It's not just a big square edge. And up that huge hook, and he made it look so straightforward.
Yeah.
That's massive. We saw many of the best riders in the world earlier struggle with it. It's incredible how
Is
they're
that
making
the
that look
same
so easy.
height of a Guinness World Record that Jack broke back a couple of years ago at Bike
It's not
Fest?
quite. Yeah,
not
it's
quite.
it's
Okay.
about I think it's about 178, 180.
Still close to 6 foot.
Yeah,
Right.
which is about 5'10", I think. And
Yeah.
the world record at the moment is about 6 foot. So
Yeah.
not far off of it, but in the middle of a section.
Were you two here when that happened?
Yes, I was.
I'm afraid I was not.
Yeah.
This
I
is my
was-
second year in Bentonville.
I
was a
was
ton of
here.
fun.
Here
and
he
it
goes,
was-
here he goes. Oh,
Look at that.
yes.
He just floats up like a butterfly.
Did you see how much his back tyre was spitting out on the floor
Yep.
there as well? Just carried on committing to that movement and keeping his weight forwards and just keep going.
So again, the amount of power that these athletes are putting out is absolutely insane, and I don't think a lot of people realize how much power as a trials rider you put out and into these
Just out of
pedals.
time. So that's going to be 40 points for Haleon on section
Yep.
2. So that's going to be interesting. Interesting to see how it pans out. Can anybody else catch up with him? He's going to be on a total of 100. I think Oliver's going to be on a total of 70. So far Haleon is still in the lead, but another 4 riders yet to go. And yeah, just going back to what you were saying, sorry there. It is a lot of power. It is a lot of power. There is a lot of energy going into the bike just to make even the most basic moves. But some of these big moves, they are, I mean, the amount of power you put down is pretty crazy. It'd be quite interesting to see, to put a power meter on, you know, and just.
So I would love to, as a scientist, I would love to do a power test on all of you.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys as well, they're putting in big time in the gym, getting really strong, especially off season, putting in a lot of time in the gym and really strengthening and toning the muscles. And then through the season, they generally slacken off from the gym a little bit, spend more time on the bike, get those muscles moving fast.
I got to convince
25.
you guys to keep your gym time in during in-season. So you can lose up to 25% of your strength in the in-season if you drop your gym workout out.
Interesting, yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
So, how many days a week would you say you need to do to keep that up?
Minimum of 2 to 3.
2 to 3.
Okay, we're good. I'm good.
Yes.
All right.
45.
Yes.
I
But
don't even
Alright.
hit that
the
quite
big-
often.
the
For the
biggest
last
thing
3
is-
months, I've done 1 a week.
The big,
max.
yep. There isn't really going to be adaptation
Yes,
with
there
1
it
day
goes.
a week in the gym. The biggest thing is lift heavy. Low
Yeah.
reps, lift heavy. This whole idea of, you know,
1
low
minute.
weight, high reps,
Yeah, it's
waste
totally
of time.
pointless. Like
Waste-
100 kilos for 40 reps. What's the point?
for people who don't know what 100 kilos is, that's 220 pounds.
Oh yeah, sorry, 220 pounds. Yeah,
We're in America, Andre.
for 40 reps.
Yeah.
Sorry, well, I'll try and switch over.
no, you're fine. So
But
again,
yeah, that's interesting. So
Yep.
because like I know for me, and I guess a lot of these guys, we're riding so much to try and keep the gym work up as well is super. Especially when you're traveling in a different country every week.
but the
it's
thing
so
is
difficult to
you
keep
can
that
do
going.
so much work
147.
with body weight, and it
Yep.
also is key in injury prevention. So there's a lot of athletes
Of
that I
course.
know that are constantly in, but yet they're never
Yeah.
in the gym.
Yeah.
But they're just constantly trying.
Oh, he really tried. 50
He was
points
so
there for
close
Danny.
there.
Oh, that is amazing.
time,
I
he's
can't
got
remember his
time.
score from the first section. I think it was 40
157,
points in
he's
the
got
first
time.
section. So he's
Yes,
going
it
to be on 90.
was. It was.
2 minutes now.
Oh, he
I think
did
he's just
have the
gonna run out of
time. I think there was a slight error on the call out of time. I think he got...
Yeah.
It was 1:47 back there, so that is a shame because maybe he could have got 60 on that section. We would have seen the first 60.
So close.
Yeah, I think
Danny
it was
going
just
straight to the... Oh, little Bam Bam
That
right
was a
there.
little Bam
Bam Bam. Very nicely done.
Very
Floating
nicely done,
all
yeah.
the way up to the top, straight to the back wheel.
Can I just say how much I love seeing these Bam Bams now?
Yes.
They're just everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're taking over, man.
Okay, next up, who have we got next? I think it's Borka Konekos.
Yeah.
Should be up
Ready?
next.
The birthday
Okay, on your
boy.
mark. 2 minutes.
All right, setting up for this first gate, which is fairly similar to the semifinal. These guys will be fairly familiar with the setup, and as you can see, Borja gets through it very smoothly. But this is new. This is new for the final. Making his way down, up and over that dog. Borja setting up for the next gate.
Be interesting to see how he gets on. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on and if we can see our first 60 points. I know Borka on a good day, he is just absolutely incredible and phenomenal to watch. His balance lines and control is crazy.
41.
And he's got a really nice style as well. So let's see, has he got this hook? It's around 5'10". Oh, it's a long way up.
Oh,
Just twists the bars a little bit. Doesn't quite keep his front wheel straight as he has to load it on the way up to the top, and there's a lot of torque that goes through that front wheel and through those handlebars on moves like that. So it's really difficult to keep them straight, and as soon as your front wheel starts to turn, it's hard to bring it back.
Yeah, and this is really interesting. So from this angle, it's maybe not the best angle to see this particular move, but the pipe is absolutely ginormous. It's kind of
118.
It's massive.
probably about, what, 6 foot? Just
Yeah,
under?
it's huge. And the other thing is I mean, I'm sure that you can see on the camera, we've got a lot of these lovely painted obstacles that look awesome. It's a great centerpiece to the whole festival here, but I mean, from a trials rider's perspective, it gets a little slippery with all that paint, so you can see that Borja's getting up there, but slipping back just a little bit, and sometimes it's just because of the paint. It looks good, but it's an added difficulty to these obstacles.
Did not even think about that.
Absolutely, yeah. The painted concrete's an absolute
150.
nightmare.
Yeah, there's a lot of tire marks on section 4 from me because of the paint, but you know.
So you can
I
see
have my
Borka there,
excuses.
he's just not quite lifting the front wheel to glide it up over that radius of the concrete pipe there.
So
which is what
we've
he
gotten
really
a
wanted to
question
do.
on the Instagram about flexibility and mobility and recommendations on programs. So there's an amazing guy on YouTube. He's a Brit. His name is Tom Merrick.
Of course he is.
Of course he is. He is a physiotherapist, and the YouTube channel is called Bodyweight Warriors. He is the guy that I recommend for all of my athletes. He's the guy that I use for all of my mobility. He does a lot of follow-along videos, so if you're a person that doesn't like just straight exercises, he will do follow-alongs. And so he has
Interesting.
total body, lower body. He does them for different sports. He has upper body. He'll do just back. So start doing mobility. Again, if you're someone who doesn't have a ton of mobility, start working it in 2 to 3 times a week. Maybe start just once a week, something that you can manage. Don't go hard where I'm doing it every day, because it's not something that's sustainable. Do something that's sustainable for you.
That's very true. Thank you very much to Tim for that question there. If you have any questions, do drop me a message on Instagram at Andre Burton, and I'll do my best to get back to you.
So here we are with Alejandro Montalvo, looking at 20 points, looking very strong. So he is one that, or 30 points now, sorry, as they updated the score. Again, he is one that puts out an extreme amount of power into those pedals as he goes into things. So look at that. He's still, right? The amount of core strength that's going into leaving that bike in a straight line and not having...
So the interesting thing is with this kind of move, so you'll see like a street rider coming in for a hook, and they're generally rolling along concrete where the ground doesn't really change. And they're coming in from quite a distance to carry that speed. Whereas in trials like this, when you're in a competition and you limit the run up, the floor isn't just smooth concrete. This actually drops away right at the end and goes into kind of mulch floor. So it takes all that power and drops you down instead of lifting you upwards at the end. And you've got to use 1.5, maybe 2 rotations on the pedals to get all of that power forwards and down and still lift your weight up into that hook and keep all of your momentum and get all the lift in at once. That's what makes it really, really difficult.
So this is actually one of the first years that we haven't completely covered the trials area totally in mulch. We've actually left it natural.
So yeah, an interesting point as well is normally the finals are a little bit either longer since the semi-finals, or they're actually a completely different. Oh, that is a shame. He's out of time there. Yeah, or they are a completely different day, quite often on the next day. So these guys probably are a little bit tired because we started warming up around 2 o'clock, or a lot of these guys did. 50 points still for Alejandro, can I just say? Oh, sorry, 40 points there. So he's still in contention.
Right. And to your point, that was only 4 hours ago.
Yeah, exactly. So with only half an hour, well, say an hour between these guys finishing the semi-finals and starting the finals, they pretty much would have stayed warm, just walked around the sections and then carried on keeping their bodies warm. But what I will say is, back in the day, we used to do semi-finals and finals on the same day, and the semi-finals were 4 hours, and then we would go straight into finals, which would be an hour or two later, and then we do, or not even an hour or two later sometimes, and we do another 2-hour final after that. So these guys have been conditioned. One guy that is incredibly conditioned is Jack Carthy. This guy has the most ridiculous capacity for output. Yeah, he'll train like 10-minute sections, so it's pretty wild to be able to put that power output for that long. Honestly, when you try and follow him around a trials track, especially back at his place, it's a joke.
It's good to see him back this year, especially after having all those broken ribs, and he had to miss out on the competition last year. It's good to see him back and healthy and riding again.
Yep, I'm very motivated.
Wow.
Yeah.
There we go.
Didn't even need to set up for it, just rolled straight in. That is confidence.
It is indeed, yeah. And I just want to give a shout out to Mobile One and Haleon for sponsoring this event. It's really, really nice. He's just sailed up through that, hasn't he? Look at that, 50 seconds gone. And yeah, because without you guys, this event wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be able to put this show on for you and show what these riders are capable of. And hopefully this is setting a precedent for future competitions in America.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Definitely in this beautiful state.
For sure.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool to have more exposure here in the U.S., largely because of Bentonville Bike Fest. I mean, outside of people seeing some of this stuff on YouTube, I mean, a lot of times people haven't seen trials bikes in person, which is kind of wild. Especially for me, growing up with them my whole life. I mean, it's you know, it's really such
through that 30 seconds left. Sorry to jump in there, but 60 points for Jack Carthy, so he takes a lead, 20 points ahead of second place, I believe, so far.
But yeah, it's definitely cool to have these world-class riders here to show off what's really capable on a bicycle and show people something that they've maybe never seen before.
You know,
yeah, absolutely.
Following your point, Kenny and I went around and did at least 5 shows at several different schools to promote Bentonville Bike Fest. And the number of kids that looked at us and said, "What on earth is that thing? What is he going to do?" Actually, the most asked question was, "Is he going to flip?"
Yeah. Unfortunately, in trials, if you're flipping, you're probably gone wrong.
It's not a good time. It's not a good time.
You can see the points here. So we've got 60 points for Oliver Waitman in 6th place, 70 points for Borja Conejos, 80 points for Danny Baron, and I didn't quite catch the rest of it. I'm sorry, I wasn't reading fast.
So Alejandro Montalvo was in 3rd place.
With 90?
Yep.
And then 100 points for Eloy Palau and 120 points for Jack Carthy.
Yes, for Jack Carthy. So
that's why we're a great team, guys.
Yes.
2 minutes.
So here we go. Debbie Studer starts section 3. Let's see how she gets on. She had a couple of really good rides earlier on in the semi-finals. Another rider that's come on leaps and bounds in the last few years.
So then, Ian, how as an American were you then exposed to trials?
I was exposed to trials through my dad, Doug Farrar. So he got me and my brother, Sean Farrar, who also competed earlier today. Yeah, he really introduced us to the sport, and even though we had opportunity to race mountain bikes, BMX bikes, all of the above, I mean, we've really had trials as a constant for us in our lives just because we've loved it so much. And I mean, really the skills that you learn in trials transfers over much to the other disciplines. Like you were saying, some of your mountain bike students, I mean, the trial skills that they can learn just on their mountain bikes can pay dividends when they're out riding their local trails. So, and I mean, we love trying to share the sport with everybody. I mean, for us, myself and my brother, my mom, and my dad started bringing trials bikes to Bentonville Bike Fest just because when you have 3 trials riders in the family, you accumulate a lot of trials bikes.
I'm sure you do.
Especially starting us out young. We've got all types of different sizes of bikes that Kenny's been kind enough to let us bring just for people to try out, get exposed to it, see what it feels like to be on a trials bike. So
was your dad a rider?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yep.
He rode bike trials or motor trials?
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of the
much.
above.
Yes.
That's amazing.
If anything, he was still able to kick my butt on a moto for sure.
Awesome. Right, here we go. Debbie, 30 points so far, just missing out on one. Ooh. And unfortunately just not quite making that hook up. Just put 1 foot down there. That's 2 minutes up. She will finish section 3 with 30 points. Not a bad score, but she is just slightly behind Vera there. Will be up next.
From my point of view, it looked like it did. But again, that's why we have to. Yeah, from my point of view, it looks like it did. But you know, okay, that's why we have 2 spotters. Yeah, 30,
okay,
right?
interesting. So there's a little discussion going on there about whether she did or didn't touch her pedal. I think it was on the part where we just saw the replay. To me, it looked like she didn't touch it at all, but I'm not on the ground seeing, so it's not up to us, it is up to the judges. That's why it's called observed trials, not judged trials, because it's not judged, it's observed. It's literally watched to see how the riders get through. So there's no points for style. Doesn't matter if you do a 360 in the middle of the section or a tire tap or whatever. The point is you've got to get through the most difficult obstacles possible, which is super cool.
I mean, we'd like to see 360.
Everybody likes to see 360.
That would be sweet.
I want to see somebody chuck a front flip in a trials competition one day.
I would love to see that.
An intentional one.
Yeah,
yes.
Fabio and Danny, come on. But yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I think if anyone's going to do it, you would be the one to try it, given your
lack of self-preservation,
internal need to do things that are scary.
Mr. America's Got Talent.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, we all make mistakes. No. That was really good, actually. Do you know what? I really enjoyed the America's Got Talent thing. So yeah, those of you that are listening, I did do America's Got Talent last year. It was really fun. Unfortunately, I was super busy through the summer and couldn't come back for the finals. But yeah, it was really fun being here, and hopefully it's opened people up to trials here in America a bit more as well, because it's all good publicity. Anyway, here we are with Vera Baron flying through 30 points so far on section 3.
52.
She's got 52 seconds left as well. Sorry, 52 seconds gone. She's absolutely motoring. We saw Debbie just slightly go wrong on that pedal up. She's done that really, really nicely. Moving on, that's 40 points so far. One thing I will note is that technically the top women in the world now are just as good as the guys. And Vera's strength and power output is really going up as well. She's able to do some phenomenally big moves. Just really shocked so much. And there we go, 50 points so far. 30 seconds to get the last gate. There it is. She's out. That's 50 points. Oh, sorry, 60 points.
Yeah, look at that smile. She always has a great smile anytime she comes across through at the end.
And I'll tell you what, that puts me to a point actually, because I was talking to Vera earlier on about how what competition she's going to be doing through the season, and her and her brother Danny are currently trying to find some sponsors to help with their competition season. It is a lot of money, these guys. We all spend going to competitions all over the world. And as you can imagine, it's not a hugely well-paid sport. Most people do it just for the love of the sport. So if there's any help out there for Vera and her brother Danny, please do drop them a line and get in touch.
And to make a earlier point on your comment about Vera becoming stronger, we actually had a conversation about her training, and she's been working with a newer coach over the last year, and she everything into her training and how it has just made a complete difference. And I think that adds to your point where she's become just as strong, if not stronger, than some of these male riders.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree.
yeah, again, it's amazing to watch her ride. It's inspiring. It makes me wish that I could ride a trials bike.
I would be nervous if I was riding Vero.
Yeah.
Oh, what a save from Ollie there.
That was beautiful.
Oh,
my
tire
goodness.
just squidging away. See, what you can't really see too well on your screens here is that rock is like a knife point. It's super thin. I lost my front tire on that early on as well. It's so thin. So he did really well to fight through that
and keeping himself composed as well after that, making that huge up to front move there. Again, Oliver is a very, very powerful rider. So, and it takes a lot to come back from a near miss like that on the rear wheel to then make his way up that huge step from the floor. No kicker whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's the other thing as well. Although you will see trials riders using the occasional kicker, most of the riding, 99% of the moves, it's not about using ramps to generate height. It's literally about using your own body power, technique and movement to pull the bike up and over these obstacles. It's not about hitting transitions or going down into transitions. All the drops are just landed flat, and it's about absorbing that impact into your body rather than going into a transition. So it's so different from 99% of other sports on bikes. Oh yes, and Ollie just holding his balance there. And he's going to be making his way over this next one. And then the last move is up the big Mobile 1 container. Check this out.
Speaking of kickers.
Speaking of kickers. This is super cool. So very short run up. You'll see how close he is. He's going to be pressed on time. He's trying to get set up and ready to go.
Oh, Oliver.
You okay?
Big crash from Ollie there. So what he actually tried doing is instead of like pulling and bunny hopping and rolling off the kicker, he tried pedaling through the kicker to lift up. And if that's slightly wrong, that is exactly what happens. The front wheel just dives down and goes into the top. We'll see here on the replay now. Check this out. You see his back tires slightly spin there, I think, as well.
Trying to pedal through it.
Yeah, and the front tire just coming up short.
The 26-inch bikes are a lot longer, at least in the chainstay, than the 20-inch bikes. So with kickers like that, oftentimes, even with the kicker, you don't have quite enough leverage from your body to be able to pull up with all that length on the bike. So
yeah, exactly, and that's why he's going for that pedal up technique to try and push the back wheel through and off the end of the kicker.
Right. But if we get Aloy all the way through this section, I think we might see him pulling up a bit. Good old school bunny hop off the kicker.
It is an incredibly short run up as well, though, isn't it? So they've basically got like one rotation and then pull. So Aloy going for this little hook move, and you can see it's such a skinny little rock. He's going to have to turn 90 degrees here, just like that. Perfect with the tyres. Riding super well there. So that's already 10 points as he moves onto that. And that rock is huge, right?
Yeah.
That pedal up that he's just done, these guys making it look like child's play, and that's what years and years of training does.
Everybody needs to come to Bentonville Bike Fest to see this in person, because it's impressive on the screen. I mean, obviously, even us just in here watching, we're like, oh my goodness, that was insane. But when you stand next to it, you can see my brother Sean right there. He's about 6'4", and his head was at the top of that rock, which Aloy is just making his way up. Nicely done.
Absolutely huge moves. A lot of power going into the bike to lift it up like this. Go for this little short run up, little bam bam technique again. Frenchy, whichever you want to call it.
Bam bam.
That's so cool.
I will say, yes, watching, like you're saying, we're sitting in here and in the commentating booth, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. But definitely watching it in person is even more, again, using the word magical. For me, magical.
I would say that like it's so worth coming to events like this, especially if you're in the US next year. Back Bentonville a little bit later in the year, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, please do come and check it out live. There's of course all the other disciplines going on. There's loads and loads of different. Oh, he's done it! There we go.
Bunny hop.
The full bunny hop, and he's out on time as well. 60 points for Aloy.
Oh, he's happy about that.
Well done, Aloy.
Pumped.
So good. Riding for Comas bikes as well,
again,
of course.
Look at the crowd. Look at the crowd. These are all people who have probably seen this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool taking it to like a big new audience.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, so don't forget, like I say, you really should come and check out these sections and see this kind of stuff live.
Another bam bam.
Another bam bam. I think we've seen a bam bam
Wait, he put the front wheel on the low point.
Yes, he did.
Oh,
We've seen it Bam Bam at 5 times in each section.
We need a counter.
We do need a counter.
We need a counter on the screen.
Bam Bam counter. That's quite funny.
Wow, that was quite the performance from Aloy.
Yeah,
Very
ready.
nicely done.
That was executed beautifully.
Yeah, 60 points. That put Aloy on a total of 160 points so far. So he'll jump into the lead for the time being ahead of Jack until Jack starts this section.
We got his fellow Spaniard, Danny Baran, getting into the section, making the first gate. Looks super easy, nice and easy roll up, staying off the brakes to maintain that grip. And a different line.
Yeah, a different line there.
Right.
So I'm interested because same line, but he hasn't. He's gone for a slightly different angle of attack. On the right hand side of your screen there, you'll see Hans Ray. Hans is a bit of a legend in the trials and mountain bike world, riding for GT bikes for about 130 years. And Jason in the middle of the screen there from Dialed Action Sports. Little shout out to Jason. He's done a great job of promoting trials across the US as well. Oh, and Danny just coming up a little bit short on his first try into this
51.
Next pedal up hook movement.
See, we play right there. He's a little boy. And then Emil, one of the guys who's been out there all week.
Yep,
all
the Belgian
day.
Invaders.
Yep, the Belgian Invaders. I like that. I'm going to start using that.
Yeah, so it's cool. We've had Wesley, Andy, Emil, and of course Kenny's here doing the overall organising. And they've been working hard, setting up this and the speed trial, and generally setting up the event. So, and also, yeah, a big thank you to Haleon and the guys for sponsoring this event. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be producing this for you. So it's really cool. And I tell you what, it's so nice for us as riders. I mean, I've been competing now for, this will be my 20th World Championships in Saudi Arabia later this year.
How is that possible? Because you're 21.
I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, I started young.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
you know, I was pretty good from a young age.
Got it. Okay,
I came out on a bike.
Continue.
And,
Danny,
yes,
looking like he makes the pedal up work.
Wow.
Nicely done.
Holy
Disgusting,
crap.
but great.
And
And
he
the 26-inch
just
bike.
barely made that through, too.
Yeah,
Barely
Barely
made it on time. That's
super cool.
Well-deserved
Super cool.
60 points.
Yeah.
Sorry, I totally cut you off. So since you've been
that's cool.
riding
Please
for
do.
20 years at 21 years old, go ahead.
Yeah. I can't even remember where I was going with that. Yeah,
Okay,
I was just
well,
saying
just a
that it's
random
really
fact.
cool to come over to America. That was it. Really cool to come over to America and do some events here because you know, we've been all over the world, and it's really nice to now be over in the US. And it means that when we come over, we get to explore some really cool places and, you know, make the most of the trip. A couple of these guys are going to be staying for a couple of weeks, going to various different places.
Yeah.
So, and of course, getting to do some mountain biking here in Bentonville as well.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to hitting the trails this week around Bentonville and seeing what's on offer. Probably hurting myself again.
Oh, please don't.
Oh, Borja going for the same line as Danny.
Yeah, that was so cool, that little 90-degree turn onto the little knife point.
Again, Borja's so good at knowing where to place his wheels.
Yeah, if you watch some of his videos, you know, you just see him just do the most ludicrous little tiny edges. And Kenny there. Kenny, of course, himself 4 times elite world champion as well. So I think he is 3rd in the ranking for most world champion, elite world champion titles.
45.
Overall. Yeah. Yeah, in 26-inch that is.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about total overall? Did he always ride a 26-inch?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Well,
sometimes
he
where
rode
he would
20-inch
compete on
like
both.
way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of it. There's actually 5 people ever that have made 20 and 26-inch finals in the same competition.
Wow.
One of them being me, 2013. So yeah, it's very difficult to switch between the bikes because the balance points are, of course, very, very different.
It's completely different.
Yeah, the movements and techniques are very, very different. I mean, maybe now with the shorter bikes, actually, with the 26-inch shorter bikes, they're maybe a little bit similar.
Might be some crossover. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that develops. I mean, yeah, it's a small sport, but we're constantly pushing the geometry of the bikes forward. I mean, speaking of the geometry, you might be asking, why did Borja do all that on his back wheel going down that log as opposed to rolling down? And I mean, the bikes, the stems are so long, the handlebars are so far forward, so he can do things like that, balancing on the back wheel and holding it on one wheel. So a lot of the times, oddly enough, it's a lot easier to do things just on the back wheel because that's what the bikes are made to do.
Right.
Oh, and a similar to mistake.
Oh, No.
Oliver before.
I mean, at least he put his hands down and not his face.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
Yeah, that's very steel, that Mobile 1.
So
Giant
speaking
oil.
of-
I mean, how much oil's in that can?
I don't want to know.
It's
Yeah.
actually empty.
There's a lot more. Shh, no, don't ruin it. Don't
Oh,
ruin the
sorry,
illusion.
sorry. I don't know, 100 gallons.
You see in the replay there, yeah, he's just... So the problem is with that technique of pedaling off of the kicker, you actually need to finish that rotation off the end of the kicker and lean right back instead of pushing the weight forwards. But incredible. He just got his timing just slightly wrong with the pedals there. And now we move on to our top 2 athletes. We've got Alejandro Montalvo first. Let's see, can we see another 60 on this section? We've seen 2 60s.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
260.
Not a ton of them.
Yeah.
They have really upped the ante with the difficulty level in this final.
Oh yeah, it's incredibly difficult. I mean, you know,
For sure.
Like I say, I've competed in quite some competitions, and the level of these sections is truly international, like world class.
But that's
Like you were saying, Ian, this is a real step up from any other competitions in the US.
Absolutely.
But that's, you know, what we want, especially if, you know, I think Kenny's ultimate goal is to turn this into a World Cup one day.
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, that would be super cool. But I mean, yeah, for us seeing riders like Alejandro, like any of these guys and girls in the final, it's a huge eye opener for all of us over here in the U.S. just to be able to see it in person and to say, okay, that's what we got to do next year. Make us work a little harder and try to get some more confidence on the bike. But
Yeah, man, it's motivation, and it's
absolutely.
Yeah, it's you need to go away and be like, right, I now know what's possible. I need to push harder. I need to do this, and
Yep.
you know, look at all the different little movements as well.
Oh, another Bam Bam.
Click. And
We're up to 12.
yeah, so it's quite interesting how this technique's kind of come in, and a lot of these guys are
taken
really
over.
good. Personally, can't stand doing that technique just because
Really?
I can't do it.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I can go straight to back wheel, but
yeah.
yeah, that technique's just
It's tricky.
not my cup of tea.
130.
Ian, can
Yeah.
you do it?
Depends on the obstacle.
Okay.
if I get lucky, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what
yeah.
size bike are you on? Are you on a 26?
I am on a 26-inch,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm riding a Comas Kala 26-inch.
Okay.
So
Just overbalanced
yeah,
slightly there.
slightly-
12 seconds.
Ooh,
I think he's going to be going for a 50. Yeah.
Oh yeah. If he turns around real,
real quick, if he
He's going
attempts it,
straight.
he's
Go
going
for
to
it.
attempt it.
I mean, you would think 50 points out of 60 sounds pretty good. It certainly sounds pretty good to me and Andre, but I mean, these guys are at such a high level that they want everything, and it's so close too. I mean, we'll see the scores, but I mean, it's a matter of missing one gate here or there. As we can see,
Yeah.
Alejandro using his disc brake on the back of that 20-inch just to modulate an inch down that log.
And
That was
interestingly,
very
so
nice.
yeah, the 20-inch you have.
No, if you're ready.
Oh, Jack's
We're
jumped
waiting
the
for
start
the
there.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, the 20-inch bikes have a rear disc brake, whereas the 26-inch
No,
bikes
we're
don't,
ready.
and that's
Yes.
due to the flexion in the wheel. Essentially, it basically just moves a little bit too much, and there's so much force going through the edge of a 26-inch wheel. It just kind of doesn't work in the same way. So it's better to stick to the old school kind of rim brakes.
Yep. And I mean, that's
on the big wheels.
Yeah, that's a big question that we get all the time. Aside from why don't the bikes have seats, why do they use rim brakes, especially on the 26-inch bikes? On the 20-inch, you'll see disc brake on the rear and a rim on the front, but for the 26-inch bikes, like Andre was saying, it's a lot to do with the spoke flexion and the spoke torque that is put through the hub from the outside of the wheel. And so, but trust me, everybody, these brakes are the most powerful that you will find on
absolutely.
any bike. It's a light switch. It's on or off. They're not really meant to modulate too much, but if you think about it, all you mountain bikers out there, if you want more powerful brakes, you want a really, really big disc rotor, right? So you might have a 200 or 250, something like that for like a downhill bike. But think about it. With these rim brakes, we've got a 26-inch rotor. It's a ton of torque going into that wheel from the brake pads. And on top of that, we grind down the rims. So those rims on Jack's bike, oh my gosh, that was nice. Okay, Jack rolled down. I take back what I said earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that on my bike on a.
But yeah, you'll hear the squeaky brakes over the sound of my voice.
Can I just point out now that he's got 40 seconds left? Most of the other riders we've seen here have about 10 seconds. So
yeah, or have run out of time. They haven't just gotten there.
So he's got over 30 seconds left. Like, that's wild.
And again, it's
Fast
child's
riding.
play to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Jack showing
is
you
he
another
even
level. That's
sweating?
another 60 points. So that's 180. Wow. It's a little British joke. If you ever play darts, 180.
Oh yes.
There we go.
I saw that you guys were waiting out the rain this morning watching darts. Yes.
I think. I mean, I went to the gym, but these guys watched about 5 hours of darts this morning. So yeah.
You mean like the sport?
Yes.
Is it a sport or a game?
I don't know.
I think it is also a sport.
It's a game. Anyway, carry on.
I don't know. Bowling is considered a sport here.
It's a little bit more physical. There you go, the points overall after 3 sections. Oliver Wakeman, 110 points. Borja Conejos on 110. Alejandro Montalvo on 140. Daniel Barron also on 140. Eloy Palau on 160. Jack Carthy out in the lead with 180 points, the perfect score so far.
Are we going to get a perfect 300 today?
Can I just say, I read those out in perfect time.
Yeah, you got it
You
that
were
time.
talking super fast, though.
Yes.
I know, right? Impressive.
Did you know a perfect 300 is called a turkey?
A turkey.
But that's...
Boom, I got a turkey. Fantastic. All right, here we go. Debbie making her way into Section 4. Our first look at Section 4 here for the Trials competition presented by Haleon and at Bentonville Bike Festival, the 5th year anniversary.
It
so
is.
cool. 5 years.
5 years. Isn't that crazy?
I can't believe it's only my 2nd time here.
Yeah.
Well, 3rd time technically. I was actually in Bentonville.
You know, I'm sure that you guys don't love this section because of all the paint, that like you mentioned earlier. But I personally
if it's
love.
dry, it's fine.
I personally love watching this section.
Oh yeah.
I love the way that the obstacles have been placed. Watching the riders, everyone picks a different line, and being able to watch, you know, again from a sciencey nerd, all the different biomechanics that everyone puts out in this section. This is by far every year my favorite section to watch.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah. And also it shows that trials, like with a little bit of paint, you can make it look kind of beautiful, and it can, you know, take different forms. So there's some really nice artwork on these pipes. I'm a big fan of the bee there on the right-hand side.
Well, and I think it showcases a lot, too, about what Bentonville has to offer. You know, we do have a very huge art community. If you've never been here, we have what's called Crystal Bridges Museum of Art.
Absolutely beautiful, yeah.
Yes, it's part of the Alice Walton Foundation. That we have Picasso, Van Gogh. Oh,
not quite making
it up the slippery paint.
It's going to be 40 points for Debbie on Section 4.
But you can find that hidden throughout Bentonville everywhere, all amongst the trails. There's art hidden. Remember when we went mountain biking
Was
last
it giant
year?
ants or something?
So there are giant ants in the trees. Yep, we've got, there are random animals, random glass blowings. There's art everywhere throughout Bentonville, all throughout the trails in Bella Vista, Bentonville, Rogers, and all of the cycling parks.
Honestly, I will say, if you're a family that's into cycling, it's so worth coming here and getting out on the trails. It's super cool. You've got every bike brand going here. And the trails are just great for any age, any ability. You can be totally pro to total novice, and it's super cool to go and ride through the forest.
Like you mentioned earlier, 400 miles of trails.
Wild.
What other city can boast about that? 400 miles.
That's a busy day. Actually, you can see
day.
Summer there in the background. She did a 200-mile mountain bike race.
She won.
200-mile mountain bike race.
She's won that now at least 2 years in a row.
Incredible,
Summer is a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. So shout out to Summer for that.
Yeah. Kudos,
anyway, here we go. We've got Vera straight in 10 points already on Section 4, making her way swiftly through. Let's go back to the bikes a little bit. This is a carbon 20-inch bike. So that bike is weighing in at, let's say, 15 pounds, 16 pounds?
Yeah,
if I convert it correct.
The carbon frames are definitely pushing the limits of the stiffness and the lightweight nowadays. A lot of people will be on all aluminum frames. I'm on an aluminum frame with a carbon fork and carbon handlebars. But
for those of you listening in the UK and that speak English, that's aluminium. Just you know.
All right.
Sorry,
Anyways,
you can probably tell by the accent I am.
moving on, Andre. Moving on.
That's all right.
but
Dan
yeah,
and I
so-
speak American. It's fine.
But yeah, very on that carbon
Jack.
clean K1.
Yeah.
Is
And you're riding the Comas.
I'm on the Comas.
And
Yeah.
So that's the aluminium.
Yes.
You like it? Do you think you prefer that over a carbon? Or?
I honestly haven't had the chance to spend too much time on a carbon bike yet.
Okay.
It's definitely
120.
the times that I have hopped on a carbon bike. It's kind of creepy. Like it's so light. The back
Yeah.
end like just flicks around
That's it, the back
so
end is super
easily.
light.
Yeah, but it certainly takes some getting used to. But I mean, I think
Yeah.
Vera is used to it at this point. Another 60 points.
60
Wow.
points for Vera.
Again,
just
just
dominating
beautiful
over.
riding,
There's that
powerful riding.
smile, the beautiful Vera smile.
So now,
Fantastic.
what would
Oh,
you
they're
say? What would you say would be the weight difference between, let's say, your bike and a full carbon
So
bike?
interestingly, I've got the Kruger's medium and my Maestro carbon, and they're actually they're very, very similar geometries. My Maestro carbon is about 7.6 kilos, so what's that, 18 pounds?
Yeah.
And the other one is just under a kilo heavier. So over the whole bike, very similar parts, etc. as well. So
Right.
probably about 2 pounds heavier
We're good.
for the
Yeah.
That's it.
for the aluminium bike.
You realize that's the size of a cell phone.
Maybe a little bit more.
2 minutes.
Probably a little more than that, but
It's about a cell phone.
they're pretty light.
Yeah, I mean they're all pretty light, but the interesting thing is the light versus how they ride, because they can
Right.
ride light but
Carbon
actually be
is
heavy,
extremely
etc.
stiff.
Yeah, which can be good, can be bad, I'll be
Right.
honest. Yeah. So here we go, our first look at section 4 for the elite men. Oliver Waitman flying in there, already up to, I believe, 20 points on this section as he moves into this big side up. So they've put the tape along the floor there, so there's no run up allowed. Got to try and do this big side up, big
that's
preload.
huge.
Which Ollie is amazing at. He
Yeah.
does side hops.
He
you know,
side ups
like-
nearly as high as me now. Yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
impressive.
Nearly. Nearly
No,
on
I
his
don't
height.
know. I reckon he probably
That's,
does side
that's
up
the key word.
higher than
nearly.
me.
Who's in
yeah.
the final, Andre? You or Oliver?
Look at that. Sorry?
Oh, burn, burn.
Savage.
Do you need a
Savage.
a cold bandage for that or cold cloth?
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm used to it now. Oh, no!
No.
Just overbalancing, getting that back tire stuck in the groove there. Oh, that is so frustrating.
That is.
Yeah, Oliver
I feel
Waitman
like
there.
Ollie is having a rough day.
Yeah, well, his finals not being the best.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, never mind. Never mind. He will be very disappointed with that, but he lives to fight another day. It's all good.
Always.
Yeah, you can just see the back wheel there. Just
The paint.
oh, yeah.
Slippery paint.
You got to land so perfectly on that edge. Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah,
See, he's a
he's
bit annoyed
upset.
there, but he's got to put that out of his mind. Concentrate on section 5. Pull back as many points as he can. Section 5.
Okay, here we go with Eloy.
Also on the Comas. I'd like to see it.
Yep, so he's riding the aluminium frame
Hold on,
Comas. Getting ready. Be sure to not jump the gun like we saw Jack
Ready?
do earlier on.
Yeah, let's
The
go.
observers have to give you the ready signal before you start going. And start in your own
2
time.
minutes.
Here he goes. Interesting he hooked up that one.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wouldn't have seen that coming.
It's fairly low for a hook.
For him
Again,
it is,
have
yeah.
you noticed with this section you see the most,
Difference in
the difference
movements.
in attempts, line
He just
choices?
flew up that. Like,
That was
correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's
Are those
absolutely
all your
massive.
tire
yeah.
marks?
Yeah, those are mine.
Are those yours
yeah.
right there on the caution?
All of
Mostly.
those are Ian's.
Yeah.
All right, straight down to the floor. That's like
That's a
10
good
feet high.
8-foot drop. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
huge.
that is a big drop. You can see there. Is it? What's his name? Mike walking past it.
Yeah. Mike's
yeah.
a reasonably tall guy.
Flying through that as well. Again, I'm going to say the word easy. He's making it look easy. It's really, really not. Super big moves. Moving very well. Lloyd here. He knows he's got a good chance of getting a podium point. if he
Slipping
get
out on
this.
the mulch just a little bit.
Yeah.
This also, so the diameter of this pipe is so difficult because as you go into the hook, you've really got to be accurate with pushing the back wheel into the bottom of the pipe because on that end it is empty, it's hollow in the middle, so you really need to be landing spot on with where your tyres are. Let's see if he can make it through this part.
So you'll see there's a little groove on the side of this pipe that they're going to be aiming for. Get the wheels right in between there.
Oh, what happened there?
I'm not sure.
Is that a puncher? Did he get a puncher?
Might be.
He looks quite angry. I'm feeling that's a puncher or maybe an issue with the back brake or something. I can't see if it's...
He jumped off of it nice and smooth.
That's a shame, 20 points.
Yeah. Maybe punctured, rimmed out on the approach of the face of that pipe.
On that hook, yeah.
It's a sharp edge down there. That could be... We'll see, we'll see.
Yeah, let's see. That will open the door up a little bit as well.
Yeah, that's gonna be difficult for Eloy, who's sitting in second place, about 20 points in front of Alejandro. So that's gonna be a big chunk out of his gap, and now a long ways back from Jack.
Well, and Danny and Alejandro are tied currently too, so we got a little battle going.
Yeah.
Both on 120.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yep.
I said that with so much conviction. So here we go,
It's that
Danny
English
Baron.
confidence.
Oh, a little motorbike technique. Shout out for the motorbikers enthusiast there. Just put the front wheel over and rolling the back tire up over the edge there. Real nice technique. And then, yeah,
another big
throwing
roll.
the front wheel through, staying on the pipe, up to the top, and then dropping back down.
He's riding this section very well, very confidently, very strong.
Yeah, fast and solid. Danny can ride really, really quickly when he wants to.
27.
Yes.
And round for this side up, you see he's left-footed, so there's a difference between left and right-footed. He's going to be left with approaching it to the right-hand side. Oh, just slips. Yeah, just slide down on the paint again.
43.
This is iconically the section that is the most difficult in almost
49.
all the years.
Incredibly tricky, yeah.
Again, you talk about the diameters of the pipes, the paint, all of these different construction pieces, if you will.
1 minute.
Here we go.
Danny.
Let's see, can he be the first one to get through this move to get 30 points?
Again, that's a big gap to get over there. Try to get it right in that little nook of the pipe.
Ooh,
Hold it.
ooh.
Oh, not quite,
So
not quite.
So close.
But he does have
Very
plenty
close.
of time. He's got 40 seconds.
So I think he was kind of hoping that he might have snuck his rear axle between those, but
Oh, he did not.
we've got some very observant judges here,
Yep.
and observers, and they are saying that he unfortunately did go over that arrow. You're seeing that replay
Yes.
here, I
What did you
think.
want to tell me? No, I saw that.
Lines up.
Let's see
You
where
can see that
his
marker on
back
the left-hand
wheel
side,
just
right?
doesn't quite get above the second
Yeah.
marker, and yeah, center line of his bike between the two axles crossed over
That is such a
before
shame.
he had both axles out. So unfortunately, that was really close, but that's a really good call from the observers. Good job to Mike and Gall there, but that is a bummer for Daniel.
Do you think that that might have been the issue with Eloy? And not maybe a rim puncture?
Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to take a look back
Because
at
we
it.
didn't really see the replay.
I think his bike in the background there has the back wheel off. From
Okay,
Does
what
he?
I just saw.
looks like it
so-
might be
okay.
a rear puncture. Yeah. Huge up the front from Borja.
Just a
Oh my
bouncing
gosh.
up the front wheel.
Goodness.
Yeah, you can see how high it is compared to Mike in the background now. And
See, it's slippery. It's slippery.
paint.
Hey, there's more tire marks
There's more
than
tire
yours
marks.
now.
Okay.
Do you
okay.
feel better?
Yes, thank you for your contribution, Borja. I appreciate that.
I'm laying down the rubber. Okay, here we
We'll
go.
make sure to
It's
thank him
rubbered-
in
it's
person
rubbered in now.
later.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's got this. I think he's got it. You can see how high that is above the height of his handlebars there.
Now, on a 20-inch bike, this is scary because you're physically lowered down, but oh, it's not a problem. It's not.
It's interesting to see. I always preferred side ups and gaps, etc.
Really?
On a 20-inch, and I've
Interesting.
actually jumped higher on 20 than I have on 26.
Huh, wow.
Yeah, for the 3 hours that I've ridden it in my entire life.
3 hours that
yeah.
I've ridden it.
That's 3 world championships. Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can
Good
see
save,
there,
good
like
save.
I was saying,
Like
you've got
you
to
were
be so
saying, that
accurate.
wheel.
Yeah. So the back wheel, you want to get that axle as close to the bottom piece as possible. Yes.
Nicely done.
Managing to keep that pedal just
117.
high enough to not touch on the top of the pipe as well. Let's see. Here we go. We still haven't seen anybody through this move.
No?
Can't believe it.
We got Borja and 2 other riders.
Yep.
Okay,
So
makes it back out nice and smooth.
I get the feeling this
Second
is a pretty
attempt.
difficult move.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that too, Andre. You might be onto something.
Come on, Borja. Get up there. Come on.
Ooh.
not quite.
Tire just not quite making it.
He's got time for 1, maybe 2 more attempts, but he's definitely going to want to try and make it through this.
Come on, boy. Here we go.
Oh, not quite. I mean, obviously we want to see people making it through this, but I mean, it's kind of good news for people like Eloy, who may have had an unfortunate puncture there, but it seems like we're not getting too many people through that portion of the section. But then again, we've got the 2 world champions right up next.
We do have the 2 world champions coming up, so let's see if they can get through the seemingly impossible gates so far.
Yeah, we'll see.
Man, they really made that section hard. We haven't seen higher than 20 points.
Not yet, not yet. But we got a couple of powerhouses coming up next.
There's our friend Sam from Slovakia.
I was going to say, speaking of powerhouses, there's Sam. Samuel Abati actually won the last C1 over in Switzerland, I believe it was.
Sam also competing this afternoon, but had some tough luck and really pushing to try and get through some of the sections.
I think he was 7th place just out of the finals.
Just on the
He
outside.
took a pretty bad crash too. I was evaluating his knee right before I got in here. That's why I was late. Sorry.
Yeah, he did try to break his step.
One of the smoothest riders you will see. So fun to watch, Sam. It's a bummer that he wasn't able to make it into the final.
The only thing smoother than Sam's riding is Oliver Widman in a nightclub. He's a German rider. He's not here, unfortunately, this weekend, but he's here in spirit. We do miss you, Ollie. Yes. All right, here we go. Alejandro flying through so far, going into this 20-point gate. So it's interesting, that next pipe, you've got the next hook after this one, and that next big gap is worth 10 points for both of those movements. That's pretty steep.
Insane.
Yeah.
But like you said, A, B, C.
Exactly, yeah. So here we go, lining up for this hook move on the new carbon bike. He's actually, interestingly, since moving to the carbon bikes, he's really upped his game. Really suits Alejandro well. Double world champion on the play bikes now. Here we go, dropping down. Let's see, are we going to see this move go down? I really hope he's got it. Come on, Alejandro. He knows he's got to take it serious.
I mean, he's got about a minute to attempt this.
I feel like this is an incredibly long way.
Oh my gosh, finally!
Huge.
But did you notice the difference in the wheel placement?
Yes.
It was so much further to the right, closer to that marker than anyone else has put their wheel.
He kept both wheels in the groove of the pipe where he was able to get a little more traction. But oh man, this
and then the next
pipe
move is huge as well.
This is massive.
Huge off angle and
again,
painted
it's so
in the world's
round.
most slippery paint.
It's so round and there's no grip because of the paint, but
look,
wow.
he does it. He does it.
Interestingly enough, yeah, the big gap up to front on the top pipe
straight
there.
up to the top. Wow.
And that,
10 feet in the air,
ladies and gentlemen,
straight
is
down.
why Alejandro Montalvo is a world champion.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. There is on that, interestingly on that other pipe, there is a tiny kicker. Oh, he's done it! 6 seconds, can he make it to the end gate? Oh, he's got one last move, he's going to run out of time. It's going to be 40, 50? It's got to be 50, right? I'm not exactly sure where the markers are. Yeah, 50 points there.
There we go.
Montalvo. By far the highest score we've seen on that section. So
look at that. Look at the
incredible
crowd.
riding.
Yes.
Big round of applause. Yeah, he deserves that one.
Look at this. So there's actually the rock on the floor there. You see that? He's used that as a little boost for the back wheel.
Oh,
But
did he?
still
I didn't notice that.
Absolutely giant move there. And so quickly, he's just up 90 to back wheel on the point and straight across. He didn't hang around and he ran out of time. That's wild. This is a tough section.
It'll be interesting to see the different approach, or just the approach period that Jack takes with this section.
Strap yourselves in, guys. Let's see what Jack Carthy's got.
On section 4. I think this is, so far I think we've had 60s on every section.
Yeah,
because
so.
Jack's been through all of them. Yeah.
Here we
This
go.
is true.
Big pedal up. No messing around. Here we go. Let's see how on form is Jack today. Just flying around straight into this side. I don't think he's going to waste any time. Like I say, you can see his fitness. Look, he doesn't need to wait as long as the others to just regen that power into his body. It's just there. Which I'd tell you how he does it, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Just got to watch the rear axle there on the tape as well. It's a very short run up there.
Not wasting any time. He's still got a minute and 15 seconds.
That's insane.
At this point.
So it'll be interesting to see what kind of approach he takes at this section here. Is he going to do it the way Alejandro did it, or is he going to do it different?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Puts his front wheel up and over the top, but still lands his back wheel in the groove. Interesting.
Yeah, that looked like a completely different move to what we saw everybody else trying.
Yeah.
And, this is literally, like, even Borja, like, we're talking world champion, you know, like, World Cup winner.
Wow. You can see Jack staying really, really close to the right side of that gate because with the slope of the pipe, it's a lot lower on the right side, so he's taking advantage of any space that he can get.
Yeah, 40 seconds left. Can he get through this last little bit? So he's got this skinny beam run up. Look at this, straight on and up. There it is. He's through that one, and then where's this next gate?
Oh, it's on this rock.
This is huge.
And it's so undercut. This is beyond vertical. Wow.
And he just hooks it. You can see the angle there. So his bike's so steep. That's 60 points for Jack.
There's a little spin.
There we go. There's a celebration. And again, is he even sweating? I don't think so.
Hardly.
He's doing pretty well. Heart rate's up to about 120 there.
Nah, maybe 105.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to watch. Yeah, you can see the overhang there. So imagine pedaling at something that hard, trying to get your weight, holding the bike back. Like an overhanging hook like that is just the hardest thing in trials. So amazing there. Here's the scores. Borja Conejos on 140 points, equaling Oliver Waitman on 140 points, Danny Baron on 160 points, Eloy Palau on 180, Alejandro Montalvo on 190, and Jack Carthy leading the way. Perfect score of 240 points so far. Is he going to keep that perfect score going through into Section 5?
I would love to see that.
Find out.
Alejandro's got a chance, though.
Alejandro has moved up significantly.
Yes, he has.
He's jumped right up.
Quite the comeback.
Yeah. I mean, that last section you can really see gives you a chance to fight back.
Exactly.
Whenever you're ready.
And here we are with Debbie again. Her first look at Section 5. That's a much better idea. We should just do that with all obstacles right underneath.
Yeah.
Could do that obstacle.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's rocks underneath.
Whoa. Give me some credit. I do ride mountain bikes, okay?
I'm only joking.
I
I'm only
know.
joking. We've ridden mountain bikes together.
I know. We had a great time.
It was good. It was great.
Until you popped both your wheels.
Only one. I exploded the rear tire. Sorry, YT bikes.
That's an understatement. Exploded the tire.
Break the frame.
That's true. This is true. That was a great day,
Jason.
though.
Yeah.
That was a great day.
Yeah. Oh, nicely done there by Debbie.
Yeah,
really
nicely
good
done.
control. Placing the front wheel, switching to back wheel, dropping down, and again underneath that high bar there. All right, lining up. Look at this move. This is over handlebar height. Okay, so she's actually doing what we call a technical dab, which is where you can put a foot down, pull your bike up and through the gate. Now, although you don't get the points for the gate, it does mean that you can carry on and try the next gate, so you can get another 10 points later in the section.
Yeah, sometimes it's all about the strategy. A lot of the times you'll come across a gate like Debbie just did there, and you might think, not so sure about this one, but I know I can get the next one, and sure enough, she does.
Exactly.
So that was a very, very smart play.
That's it, exactly, yeah. It is about tactics. You want to get as many points as you can.
You know, she's another one who in the off-season has really improved. I've seen her a lot more in the gym.
140.
Working on different techniques. She had a video that she posted where she took a set of handlebars and was balancing on the floor and had her feet up against a wall. And I will say, I tried it and fell flat on my face. Yeah, so shout out to Debbie because...
that sounds really cool. I want to try it.
It's amazing. It's amazing for the core and everything. Yeah. And I felt like an idiot. I did post it as a blooper.
Here we go. She'll jump up and say a big thank you to the crowd.
Debbie.
Well done, Debbie.
Well done, Debbie. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Big round of applause. Love to hear that.
Love you, Debbie.
We all love Debbie. Debbie's been a regular here now every year, and we love seeing the Swiss coming out, making the journey. It's really cool to see everybody coming from overseas.
It's a long way to come, but it is totally worth it.
Absolutely.
Whenever you're ready,
and she just has a great personality. She's another one that is just always so kind and happy and excited to see you.
Happy to be there. Happy to see you.
When I was in Poland last year, all of these people now become close friends, and you know, they just run up to you and like, wait a minute, why are you here? You're only in Bentonville. I'm like, no, I'm in Poland now, watching you at the World Cup.
fly out of the US as well as the fly in.
It's amazing how that works. We've really figured out air travel.
All right, here we go. Vera Braun already on 10 points. 25 seconds in. Let's see how she gets on with this one. Hoping to add another first place in this international C1 event. You can see the Bobcat in the background there. The guy's going to be riding on later. I'm not talking about an actual Bobcat, I'm talking about the digger in the background, as opposed to the live animal. 30 points so far, halfway through and under half the time gone.
Looks like Vera's going to attempt this one.
She is. Here we go.
Bounce to front perhaps, and switching into back wheel.
Oh, I thought she had that for sure.
Come on, Vera. Here we go. Jumping in, front, back.
There
she's done it. She's
there we
held
go.
it and turned.
And turning.
She's got it.
Ah, so good. Such good riding there from Vera. Incredible. There we go. Gapping across, holding that balance. Her balance is incredible.
It is.
Yes.
And that's...
Ride against her in the mountain section.
Yeah. No,
you will be beaten.
I would be in trouble.
Yeah.
And again, that's attributed to this new trainer that she's been working with, who has completely dialed everything with her.
Yeah, fantastic. 60 points for Vera Braun. So, wait a minute, did she get a clean sweep? She got 60s all through.
Oh, maybe.
I think
Are they disputing it? I don't know. I don't know. Either way, she's still got a smile on her face.
She's still first place.
Well done.
Anyway.
Look at that, how happy, always so smiley.
Vera Braun, your winner here in Bentonville, Bike Fest 2025.
And a winner in our hearts, always.
Absolutely. No, yeah.
Always.
Of course. Incredible. Yeah, so they took the points off because actually when she went through the, I think when she went through the gate, she jumped backwards. It's quite an interesting little rule actually. So once both wheels are through a closed gate,
can't
you're not
go
allowed to
backwards.
jump backwards. Yeah, and a lot of people have been rightly or wrongly convicted of getting points there. So anyway, we're waiting to see the final scores to see exactly what she
So
did get
just
in
a
that last
little
section.
tidbit for those of you who are watching. The festival is actually over. It is closed. And this is how many people have stayed who are watching trials.
Like, now we're going to stay and watch.
I think that is amazing. Again, a sport that here in America is just not, I don't want to, well, maybe not known to most people here in America. So you can contribute here. Not known, not popular.
It's not popular, no. It's certainly a little bit.
I don't say that to be mean. It's just we don't know about it.
It's a fact.
Do you know what, though?
There's pros and cons.
Can I just say, the bigger the sport, generally the easier it is.
Maybe.
Trials is a very difficult sport.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
It's
There's
difficult
such
to get into, and it takes a long time to learn the basics to get that.
Yeah.
And
that
also
satisfaction
look
feeling,
at the
so I
little
fully
kids.
understand.
I know we're watching Ollie and he's amazing, but look at the warm-up area and all the kids who are playing in the
Tons of
warm-up
little
area.
kids.
Yep.
That's
Great to see.
amazing, and that hasn't happened in years past. That's only been in the last year or two,
That's awesome.
and that speaks so much to what Kenny has done, what you guys have done with the sport, what Shindig has done with the sport. There we go. I love that they use the construction equipment as an obstacle.
Yeah, straight over the Bobcat.
The trials community is definitely a very small community all around the world, but definitely small and very spread out here in the U.S. And yeah, it's kind of like one big family reunion every year. We have everybody from all across the country come for this event just because we love the sport. And yeah, we're trying to get more people into it because it is to see these riders and to do it ourselves. I mean, yeah, we want to get more people into it because we love it for sure.
Yeah.
129.
Here we go. This looks like a giant gap up through to the left-hand side there.
Nice.
Oh, he's
wow.
done it.
Really pulled
Come
that
on, Ollie. Finishing on a total winner of a ride in this last
one out. Still
section.
got 20 seconds.
20 seconds, there it is.
20 seconds to make it all the way to the
Gonna
section.
drop down and out. 60
Way to
oh, wait a minute. Section.
He
What a
needed
hero.
that.
Well
Yeah.
done.
We should have
Fantastic
pointed
job.
out earlier on, I should point it out. He's only 19 years old.
Yeah.
He's not even 20. He is literally like what is it, 6 days within being old enough to be an elite this year, or last year, sorry. Wow. So he's just into elite by 6 days. He's literally, he couldn't really be much younger and actually still be an elite at the moment. So it's incredible to see him riding this level at just 19 years old. He won't turn 20 until the end of December.
Wow.
Yeah, 23rd of December, I believe.
Whenever you're ready.
Anyway, here we go. Aloy Palau. Probably can't tell, but he rides for WD-40 and Comas bikes. And,
Looks like he fixed the tire.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully the bike's working nicely. Oh!
Yeah, I think he's
straight up to rear wheel. So good.
I think he's gonna be out for vengeance in this section, for sure.
Yeah, this is a real fight for the podium now, because it really is kind of open. Dropping down, set up for this next move. This is so tricky. Did you manage to make this one in the semi-finals?
I think I was able to get this deep into the section, but right as I tried to gap, I certainly didn't do that.
Wow!
Wow.
He just missed that next
So I think we're up to about 25 Frenchies / Bam Bams.
Yeah.
If not more.
Oh, right. Which feet? You see that? And then,
I think he's right foot forward.
oh, yeah, sorry, he was doing the other move before.
But yeah, I did get to that gate and tried to hook onto it, but unfortunately, similar to what Borja did in section 2, had a bit of a bar twist, and it was kind of game over.
Oh, come on.
Oh, save that.
That was beautiful.
Wow, that was.
Yeah.
Huge gap onto
There we
the
go.
Yes. Works Equipment Rental, thank you very much for providing that lovely obstacle.
Yep.
Is that still going to be there tomorrow? I want to try it.
Should be.
I hope it is, because I want to try it.
Lovely swap.
All right, here we go. Can he get this very, very awkward? Look how tight that space is. I fit the bike in there, hook the front wheel over the top.
This is important because, I mean, I think the last 2 podium positions are still very wide open. I think Jack might have it just about wrapped up for the top spot. But
Look at the force going through the fork there.
Wow, you can hear him grunting out.
Come on, 10 seconds. Make it. This is going to be tricky. This is
5 seconds.
Quite 50.
Nicely done.
Incredible riding there.
Awesome effort.
You know, I will say, since I've become involved in trials and started working with trials riders, the squeaking of the brakes is now one of my favorite sounds.
Really? Interesting.
It is.
For me, it's the exact pitch of the squeak.
Yes.
Okay.
And depending on the rims that you have, it's different.
Exactly, yeah. You can hear it and go like, oh, he's running TNN greens.
TNN greens on hashtag front rim.
Okay, well, that's a little outside my wheelhouse,
Okay, well,
but
Andre and I digress. We should bring folks at home back in. Anyways, we got Danny Baran in the start gate now. Looks like he's got clean rims, so we'll see how those sound. But
probably like an A minor.
When we say clean rims, by the way, that is the brand, not they're just clean.
Yes,
not dirty.
because they do kind of look dirty.
Yeah.
just kidding.
But
all right, here we go. Lining up. Look how high that bar is in front of him. And
Borja standing
through it there.
on a log behind him. It's only about to.
Okay, here we go. Has he got this? Oh, staying on the back tyre. Pushing straight through. Yeah, wedging straight through. Oh, he's riding so fast through those. That's going to really help him later on in the section as well. But he's got this giant side up here, which I really want to give that a go tomorrow.
Now, you pointed out Danny is left foot forward. Is Danny one of the only or very few left foot forward riders in
Jack
the
is also
competition?
left.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack is also left
Wow.
foot forward.
that was huge.
That was beautiful.
That was so good. Now he's going to have to get on the back wheel, turn around. Look at that, controlling it. Watch that front wheel on the gate there on the far side.
53.
The other thing is that top of that beam is really only about, I don't know, 8 inches wide. And when you're throwing so much of your weight over to the side, it's hard to put yourself up on top.
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? You've got to put all the power, but controlled. And
Yeah.
control that weight on the landing.
Yeah, that's huge.
You know,
I mean, it's one thing to spend a ton of time in the gym and have all these power moves in your back pocket, but sometimes you've got power moves like this that are within inches or
If you don't have balance and
123.
coordination,
absolutely.
who cares?
there's no point in side up in 63 inches if you can't control it.
Right.
Yes. because you never know when you're going to have to do that onto a log. in a
132.
competition, So.
Yeah.
So now what goes through your head when you're up on an obstacle like that high off the ground, and you don't have very much space?
Yes, come on.
And you have to then pivot up onto the back wheel
Yeah,
and turn around.
I mean, Andre can
45,
attest to
145.
this too, but I mean, I think precision is going through your mind more than anything.
Yeah.
It's really a feel thing,
come
but
on. Oh, that goes down.
not going to get points for
Danny
getting
Barras.
6, but it's wow, very well done, very
What a
solid
ride.
ride from Danny.
The ride.
Yeah, but guys and girls practice so much that they get a really good feel for their capabilities and know how to throw their weight around to. I mean, particularly on like that big side hop we were talking about, it's really just knowing how much force you need to put in going up just to make sure that you can get both wheels up, but also knowing where to place your weight so you're able to get onto the obstacle, but also not fall over the other side. That's the tricky thing.
But like for you, like, what are you telling yourself? Are you walking through like, don't die?
Don't miss.
Don't miss.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah, I mean,
get
that's
on
the
and
thing
get
as
off
well.
as quickly as you can.
With trials, every move is just, ever so slightly different.
Yes.
And
Borja
straight
gaps
across.
Wow, a gap
Saving
to a
time
hook.
and energy there.
Oh,
That's a great way to go ahead
less
and do
than 10
that.
seconds in. Wow.
Yeah.
He has shown some awesome moves today.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
wow.
He definitely
was very
is
classic.
showing some
That was-
Spanish flavor
He's
in
trying to work
this
out
in
how
these
to get
moves
back round
today.
for this next move. Like, check this out. I'm interested to see what he's going to do. I think he's going to drop down and then gap very carefully through.
Borja is
Wow.
so good at those little tight angle flicks to front wheel.
Yeah.
I've seen him do it in reverse.
Well, he's doing a
In
hop-in
reverse.
technique. Check this out. Hop-in technique where he's going to be pedaling up to back wheel and then dive in the front eye, I think, into the top.
Using his momentum. Oh,
So close. Come on, Borja.
The first time I ever watched him ride was at the Polish
1 minute.
World Cup last year in Katowice, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Because,
there it is.
like you said, the flicks and just his little personalities moves that he shows. Here we go, going off
Totally different way onto that, yeah.
Very nimble.
the end of that
120.
Bobcat. It was interesting just to watch it because his style was so distinct, even from the other Spaniards. It was very cool to see.
Yeah, definitely.
133.
Here we go. What's he got? Can he get this one? This looks so awkward.
Watch those pedals.
Yeah, so you can see the observer
Golf
there just
on
watching
close
ever
eye.
so closely.
Nicely done.
So
wow.
when you talk about that being awkward, it is coming to a point
Yes.
at pitch.
Yes, there's a point on the top.
yeah.
I don't think Borja
155.
quite got to the point, but he was just able to squeak out.
And
too
again,
far to the
50
left of the
points.
gate.
This, do you know what? Ollie's 60 points on this section is just looking better and better.
Really good.
It's impressive right there.
But yeah, Borja just on the edge of the grip on the top of gate 5 there. But solid 50 points for Borja. Very good ride.
So we've got our last two riders just about to start.
While we're waiting, do we have any more questions in the queue that we need to answer? No?
Came on.
Alejandro Montalvo, I think the only rider that really has a chance of taking Jack Carthy off at the top spot, and so far a good start. Okay.
I thought he was going to be able to save that.
I think he was getting ready for the gap over to the hook, similar to Borja. Maybe lost a little bit of concentration, but I think he's got it this time.
Yep.
Straight to front wheel.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Alejandro, my hero.
Not messing around whatsoever.
Come on.
Alejandro's always been so good at going to front wheel. Like when he was first coming into the elite ranks, may not have been as powerful as Jack Carthy or Nicholas Valle.
But he's got 100% commitment.
Yeah, 100% commitment, and he had to rely on his technique and precision and being creative. And he's always been so good at going to the front wheel, which is terrifying, quite frankly. But
Oh, I can't even imagine. Look at
once
that.
again.
Look at that. Oh,
Yes,
what a
come on.
save. And you talk about his commitment. Every time, so Alejandro and I are good friends outside of, the trials. When every time we chat or catch up, it's, I'm here doing this. I'm at this competition. I'm doing this clinic. He is he is trials.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's teaching and he's learning himself. He's expanding the sport. To see.
Yeah, it's
That the other riders aren't. It just, I feel like he is always doing it, even more so.
Right up onto this steep rock here. Just hanging off the backside. Yeah, you gotta watch his feet, make sure nothing's touching other than tires. Big hole.
Did you see that preload?
Yes.
Holy moly.
A lot of preload.
Trials really is a full body sport. It's not just about the legs and leg power. It's really about, like you were saying, core, upper body.
Alejandro needs these last 10 points to challenge for the win, but doesn't quite make it through that last gate.
Yeah, so that will be 50 points for Alejandro.
Very nice.
Is that good enough to secure him second place?
I think so.
You know, the other thing I want to mention that a lot of male riders don't ever think about, pelvic floor. Pelvic floor is critical.
I do think about it. This is true.
Well, I know you think about it, but in the gym, it is critical. It ties into the glutes, the low back, the deep abs.
Yeah.
You can increase your core strength phenomenally just by working on your pelvic floor. So if you're a rider and you're hearing this, start looking at pelvic floor work.
Absolutely. Right, here we go. Jack Carthy in for the last section. Front to back, does that static. Interestingly, drops down to the hook. I thought he got to front on that as well.
I think this is just victory lap for Jack at this point, but we all want to see a perfect 300 points. That would be
We want to see a turkey.
Yeah.
Can we make that a thing now in trials? Can we take that from bowling?
I think we can. Whatever we want. Here we go. Frenchie front to back.
Bam, bam. I told you I'm in the Spaniard camp.
30 seconds in. He's up for the huge side up now. Let's see if he can get this. He's going wrong side, really? Okay, no, he's going for his good side. I would have gone for that. All right. Up on the back tyre. Got to line up perfectly with that balance point. Big burst of power.
Just gets his back tire on there.
That was so close.
That was
done.
very close.
Real nice. Interesting. He's dropping down and going round. Not sure why he didn't just turn around on the top of the beam there.
Maybe trying not to cross over the gates when he turns around, but Danny did that earlier, which I thought,
oh no! We're not going to see a perfect score.
No.
We're not going to see the perfect score. It's all right. I think as he knows he's already won, he's kind of like, yeah, that's cool. I'm just going to cruise through.
Slipping out.
Yeah. Let's see what he's got. We saw every other rider go to front there as well.
How many points though was Alejandro behind?
He was 50 points behind Jack before this section,
Okay.
so I think Jack does have it wrapped up.
Okay.
Back wheel down, here we go. The last few gates, 25 seconds. It's going to be title time. He's still not rapidly through.
He's just chilling. He's got time.
He does. I mean, and like you said, it's kind of a victory lap at this point in the.
Yeah. He's
you know, if he's that many points ahead.
Very nice.
Frenchie.
Another little bam bam.
Yeah. Up, and then he's just got a couple of moves.
Wow.
Going to finish on 50 points.
Nicely done.
Wow.
50 points for section
job.
5. Jack Carthy dropping just 10 points. Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Carthy from Great Britain, 7 times world champion and champion again here at the Bentonville Bike Festival, presented by Mobile One, and the trials sponsored by Haleon. Thank you so much to Kenny Belay and everyone, organisers, all the sponsors, everyone that's put in so much effort to put this event together.
All the volunteers that have come out as well.
300 volunteers.
Actually, it's closer to 400.
Closer to 400
Amazing.
volunteers. Incredible. So good. And in a few moments, we're going to go over to Kenny Belay. He's going to have a quick chat. Just see, look. Yeah, just see this slip. So I think he dropped to the lower.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he dropped on
That's
2 wheels.
That's wrapped vinyl. So that would be especially slippery.
So we're going to go over to Kenny Belay in a second. He's going to Jack and find out his thoughts on the competition. Beautiful from it. Okay, sorry. We're going to have a quick look at Vera and Debbie there. They're just sitting there chewing the fat.
Chewing the
Chewing
fat.
the fat, yeah. It's old English phrase. Chewing the fat.
I've heard that.
You heard it? Yes, I heard. Fantastic. It jumped all the way.
But
But yeah, they were. They had a great imagine Vera just pipping Debbie there today, and yeah, it's awesome. It's so nice. I know they're both characters, and they really are coming over here to Bentonville.
They do.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And I think the sport in terms of just happiness and community and bringing, you know, just.
And you notice how everybody in this sport trains together and likes riding together. You know,
yes.
like, we just like riding
from
together.
all the different regions and countries, and you know, it doesn't matter like where you are. Is your English great? Is it not? Everyone comes together to ride together as a community.
I'll tell you what, you
and
mentioned language as well. There's actually quite a few Chinese representatives here as well. There's a couple of guys.
I noticed that.
Yeah, he flew over just 3 days ago, and he flies back tomorrow morning.
Yep.
So yeah, big shout out to you guys for coming over all the way from China just to check out this event. It's really quite an epic effort they've put in to come over here and see this beautiful place.
Yep.
And take part in this competition. And we'll just wait a few moments. I do believe Kenny's going to be there very shortly. Here we go. Yeah, there's just a rundown, 290. So close to a perfect score there for Jack. He did get a perfect score in the semi-finals as well. Alejandro Montalvo, 240. Eloy Palau, 230. Danny Baron, 410, just off the podium. Oliver Waitman, 200. And Borja Conejos, 190 points. That is a great spread of points. So that just goes to show how good the course setters, Andy, Wesley, and Emil have done setting up this competition
and Michael
and getting exactly the right level.
And
Mike as
and
well.
Mike, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mike the bike.
Mike the bike. That's awesome.
No comment on Mike the bike there. But yeah, you can see the sport at the moment dominated by Spanish and English riders.
For now.
For now, yeah, yeah.
We're
You and your
gonna
bro better step it up.
I was going to say, we're going to see your name up there next year.
Oh, boy.
Where did you finish?
Third in North American.
Yeah, North American
Okay,
Championship. So
congratulations.
congratulations on your podium finish. It's
I
great.
think Huang from China just got me by 10 points, but yeah.
But he's from China.
But he's from China,
Okay,
so
cool.
on a technicality, I'll take it. But yeah, so yeah,
Okay,
not a
awesome.
bad result. And yeah, shout out to Jeff Anderson, reclaiming his title. I'm not sure how many North American titles he has now, but and then my younger brother Sean, who you can actually see in shot there, coming in second
he won
place
last year, right?
He won the last 2 years in a row. So, but yeah, he and Jeff are definitely battling it out.
Okay, excellent. We're going to go over to Kenny just a second to chat to Vera and ask her about her race.
Hey Vera, congratulations. It's how many times have you been to Bentonville? Your third or fourth time?
I think it's my fourth time here.
Congrats. What do you think about the obstacles? And I've seen all these people cheering for you. How do you feel about that?
Thanks. Yeah, well, a lot of people came here to cheer me. It was amazing, yeah, hearing all the people, Vera, Vera. Yeah, it was really nice. The sections were also really well. The place.
Are you coming back next year?
Of course.
Yeah, so it's the 5th year anniversary. We really try hard, and we hope that more women can come here. What's your message for the other trials riders that are in Europe still? How can we convince them to get 10 of the best female riders here? What could you tell them, and how could you convince them?
Well, I will tell them that this event is one of the best events I've been, so you cannot lose this in your life. So you have to come, see the people, the place, all the trials community, and then you would like to come again.
Definitely, Bentonville is definitely more than just the event. There's a lot of things to do in town. Thank you again for being here, Vera. We appreciate that every year you come here. And what's next for you? What's your next competition?
We have the Spanish Championship. Well, we will try to do our best, the same as here. So, yeah.
What was your hardest move? I saw you try a couple of times, and then the crowd got you over the obstacles. That was pretty impressive, the way you handled it with the stress. So, what can you tell about it? What was the hardest obstacle here that you had to deal with?
Well, I would say it was fourth gate of the last section. That one for me is quite difficult. I'm not really good at going to front, but I wanted to do it because it was like something I wanted to do on the competition and see if I'm able to do it. So I'm really happy with it. I could do it, and yeah.
Well, thank you once again, Vera. We appreciate it. Congratulations once again, and I hope to see you again next year. Okay. I also see Mr. Jack Carty is in the house. So, hey, Jack, congratulations, man. This is your third win.
Last year I missed because of my ribs, so yeah, I'm happy to be back and take the win. Yeah, it was good.
No, it was impressive, man. You seem to be in a really good shape. You make the obstacles really look small, and then the other riders are like, you know, they're the best riders in the world, and you always like go a little bit easier on them. Do you still stress about when you come here and you see all the other riders? Like, how do you take it? It's not a world championship, it's not a World Cup, but like, what mindset do you have when you get here?
Yeah, I used to struggle with it a lot because I'm kind of like the man to beat. So it's like everywhere I go, if I win, people think like, oh, Jack won. But if I lose, it's like, yeah, I beat Jack. So in a way, I'm riding not to lose. So it's you have stress that way. But now I'm starting to see it completely different and just enjoy the process. And yeah, I actually love riding my bike more now than I ever did, just because I'm trying to enjoy it and not really take a stress with it. If a bad day comes, a bad day comes. If a good day comes, a good day comes. But yeah, I'm trying to be focusing on myself instead of what everyone else is doing. So yeah, it's more enjoyable that way.
Yeah, you definitely were flying over the obstacles. It was really impressive. The thing that impressed me the most was the mobile one can. You made it look so much easier than the rest. I mean, you're on a 26. I was a little easier than the 20-inch riders, but still, you made it look so easy. And the big hook over there, yeah, and the ramp. You made everything always look easy. How do you stay motivated to keep going and going and going? I've been in your position, but how do you deal with it?
Yeah, so the motivation is, my new motivate, like for 10 years was permanently trying to win a world title, probably like yourself. So it was always like every year motivated. My only thing was like world championship, world championship. But the problem is I started realizing you're wishing your whole year away for one day. So your career starts going even quicker. Basically, 10 years, it's like 10 days. So you're cramming 10 years into 10 days, and it's not really a good way to look at it when you think about it. And now my thing is like, how far can I push this sport and try to make every people and just be so far ahead and like make them be behind. But now I'm actually the other way. I want to be pushing the sport and almost shaming everyone to have to push. So yeah, it's a whole new way. Like, I think now I'm getting older, I just see more a positive side to a negative side. And I'm trying to enjoy it and embrace pushing the sport. So yeah.
All right, Jack, we love having you here in Bentonville. Thanks for coming from all the way from the UK, and we hope to see you again next year.
There we go. Some great words there from our winner, Jack Carthy, and our winner of the women's category, Vera Baron. And yeah, it's really great. Like we said earlier on, Jack really has pushed the sport forwards the last 8 years, and it's actually pulled everybody up as well, and now they can push and potentially beat him. We saw him beaten for the first time last season in the Trials World Cup, so it's really exciting, and Jack's just answering back, and as we can see here today, he's just stepped his riding up to a level again, which is just incredible. It's really nice to see the interview there with the main organizer of the Bentonville Bike Festival, 4 times Trials World Champion himself, Mr. Kenny Belay, all the way from Belgium, his second home being right here in Bentonville now. And it's all thanks to him that we have this fantastic event to be at, with all of the different disciplines, including trials. So we're just going to see some highlights now of the sections of the finals. Sit back and enjoy some nice slow motion. Just want to take this opportunity to say a huge thank you to Haleon for sponsoring the trials event here. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be able to put this on. We wouldn't have this great event to look forward to every year. We wouldn't be here in beautiful Bentonville and experience everything that we have this weekend. And of course, we've still got one more day of the festival, so we're excited to be here tomorrow as well. Hope you've all enjoyed watching. It's been absolutely incredible, and I do encourage everybody listening, if you've got the chance to come over to the bike next year, it's so worth coming. There's so much to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great place to ride. There's loads of places to train. It's actually pretty good for climbing as well. So yeah, do come on over, and if you get the chance, and especially if you haven't watched trials in the flesh before.
Yes.
Because it's just something different to actually watch it and see what these obstacles are like. You can go in after the competition, have a look at the obstacles and see actually what we're riding the bikes on. It's pretty crazy. And of course, come and watch the North American Trials Championships and watch these guys like Ian and his brother Sean absolutely killing it. All right then, guys. Last time, I'm just going to say thank you to Jess Martin. We've got Ian Farrar, my co-commentators here. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name's Andre Burton, and I'm with Shindig Media. We've been commentating the whole event with Matt and Tom as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys again in the future. Thank you so much. One last shout out to Kenny Belay.
In second place, we have Alejandro Montalvo. And coming in first position, we have from the UK, Mr. Jack Carthy. These are your winners of the Bentonville Bike Fest 2025 Elite Final. What a day it's been.
Give me a wave goodbye.
Fantastic run. Big shout out to the live stream crew, the builders, the observers, everyone who made this happen today. You've done a fantastic job. And now we have moved on to the females. Just let me know. Announce you, right? Okay.
Congratulations. Oh. Congrats.
Thank you very
Good
much.
job.
Thank you. And winning today's final in the female category is Vera Barron. These are your finalists today. Let's give them a big cheer, a big round of applause. Thank you so much again for everybody who made this happen. Thousands and thousands of miles to make it happen. Working hours into the night.
No tengo batería. No, ahora si no la pides. No tengo batería. Ni yo espacio.
All right, we're wrapped on the podium.
Yes, well done. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, yes. Come on, man.
Danny and Wesley and the Belay
Yes. Thank you so much, Kenny. Thank you.
Regular Trials Awards tonight?
Oh, okay. But it's funny because so nobody of North America has had awards yet.